or I'm sorry, Crime Time with Jess. I still do that. Isn't that funny? What's not funny is what's happening and the Jared Leisek live WebEx court proceedings. If you are a fellow creator, please, I am not trying to come at you. I am being very serious with you guys. It is illegal. It is illegal, big time illegal, to live stream this, to take any pictures and show them on social media platforms. It is absolutely 100% not allowed. Um, please don't get yourselves in trouble, okay? I've already, warned a fellow creator. I hope that he's listening. Um, they have went to recess because there are YouTube creators live streaming this. You guys cannot do this. You cannot do this. You are going to get yourselves in trouble. I promise you that. Please stop. Okay. And then also, um, for the YouTube creators that think it's funny to, while the court is in recess right now, to start, you know, advertising literally their channels on a court proceeding. I'm embarrassed. I am embarrassed for this whole damn community. Why? Why do you guys do this? Stop it. Okay, you're going to ruin it for everyone. If people want to watch, the link is there. They can tune right in themselves and watch it, but you are not allowed to record this. You are not allowed to live stream this. You are not allowed to take pictures of this. I watched James Brenner. Okay, I know a lot of people did not. I'm not gonna lie. I took a picture of him because I wanted to see him. I have never posted it anywhere, and I won't because it's illegal as hell. Okay, I I have just heard 3 different YouTube creators unmuted and talking on a court proceeding. Why? Do you think this is a game? It's not. Jesus, man. I'm watching like, good Lord, you got to be kidding me. Don't you report on true crime? And this is how you behave. Subscribe to me. What the hell? I mean, I just never in my life, man. Never in my life. You guys. And this, you know what? I'm looking at the chat that's going on. And it's crazy because you could go on and look at WebEx and you can look at this chat. People are talking. And it's insane. I don't believe that Duty Ron did this on purpose, but he was unmuted and he was talking and telling everyone to subscribe to him, which I'm embarrassed for him. I don't believe that he did it on purpose, unlike another YouTuber that absolutely did it on purpose and thinks it's funny. Is there one damn thing about cases that you guys can just not taint? Can you just do that for all of us? Can you stop making mockeries of our court system? Please. Please. I'm frustrated. I really am. Like, I've been sitting here for an hour now, or a little longer, actually. Waiting for Jared Leisek to come on to this proceeding. And what I'm watching is a kangaroo court. And it's embarrassing. It honestly is. They're going to do something. You watch. No, I don't think he did it on purpose either. So I'm not saying he did. Now, I cannot say that about the other one because he absolutely did that on purpose twice. I'm not saying anything, but whatever this court, because you guys can read the chat yourself, they're saying it. Whoever these people are saying stuff. And, oh man. So a guest said, I am losing all respect for YouTubers trying to make money off the public when the public can join the WebEx. Wake up, people. For me, if you're making money, I don't know. To me, it's just you are making a mockery of our court system. It's very clear. Their rules are extremely clear about live streaming. Why do you think I didn't live stream James Brenner? People, I think there's tons of people that still don't know what this man truly looks like, except the people that watched. And I don't think it was a ton of people.
I was informed that my court proceedings are being live streamed.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm so sorry. I gotta turn that down. I'm so sorry. I do have that on. I have to mute my mic. I'm sorry. Okay. I believe it or not, you guys, for those of you not watching, the judge literally just shut down the court for the day. She literally just said there are YouTubers that are live streaming this, that they basically have no respect, and that she's shutting the court down for the day. So there will be no reporting on Jared Leisek or anything that happened today. One of his victims was also in that proceeding, his sister, Jessica. And there will be nothing today because it's been ruined by people that don't know how to follow simple rules. Guys, do better, please. I'm not even trying to come at you, but I am. Really, I am, actually. Please do better. You cannot do stuff like this. You can't. You just literally had an entire court proceeding. There are people, other people, not just Jared Leisek, that were waiting for their court appearance today. It's done. Court for them is now over. It's what? 1:30, 12:30, like what, 11:30, 10:30 in the morning for them over there? I mean, I watched James Brenner's. You guys, have you ever seen me post a picture of him? You ever see me post anything about him, like from that court proceeding? No, I talked about it. I described him. I described him as I saw him, but that's as far as I could go. Look what has just happened. That was truly insane. I'm mind blown. And you guys, I've definitely given clip channels if they ever wanted it, material for sure, with my Fridays and things like that. But yeah, some of you just gave the clip channels a whirlwind. There's going to be a lot of that. I don't know what to say. I'm kind of at a loss for words. I've never even seen this happen before. I've never seen this happen before. Where YouTubers literally, as usual, for some reason, don't follow the rules. I don't know why how you can report or talk about true crime and then also break the law at the same damn time, to the point where a court has to shut down proceedings for the entire day. Come on, man. Come on. You guys, I don't know if you didn't know that. I don't know if these YouTubers were unaware that they were not allowed to live stream, but it's clear. That has always been clear. I'm not sure who that's not clear to. I don't know if I don't want to think that they willfully were doing that illegally. I want to believe that they really didn't know that they couldn't do that. But this is, once again, yes, just me, you are correct. They are absolutely going to report on this. You know that they are. YouTubers had court shut down today because they were live streaming and breaking the law. True crime. This isn't even funny. It's just absolutely absurd. But it's just, just picture the headline here. True crime YouTube creators break the law and live stream a court proceeding, and have court shut down for the day. I mean, you guys can't see me right now, but I am talking a lot with my hands. I just keep throwing my hands up in the air. Like, what? Why? Why did you not know? Did you guys not know this? Were you guys aware? Can I just ask you guys? I don't know if anybody in here is a YouTube creator, but even just as subscribers or watchers or whatever, were you guys aware that this was not allowed to be live streamed? That you cannot even take any screenshots, nothing. Were you guys aware of this? As just subscribers, were you guys aware of this? Because I'm trying to wrap my head around why any of the creators would do this. True crime with Shannon. It's illegal to live stream court. You just learned this. Okay. You're giving me some hope here, Shannon, that maybe people really did not know that. Because I went on to YouTube to just post on my community tab, like, hey, I'm waiting for Jared Leisek to come on. I see Doug Bishop is in here. There was a lot of people in there. Actually, I recognized quite a few names. And when I came onto YouTube to do that, I saw that Justin, Justice for All, was live streaming the court proceeding. And I was like, holy cow. So I went in there and I said, hey, Justin, like, you're not allowed to do this. I don't want to see you get in trouble. Because I don't hate Justin. I have nothing against Justin. Okay. I don't want to see people get in trouble. And I didn't know if he was unaware. And apparently, maybe he really was. If you guys were, I'm gonna hope for him that if he was unaware, you're gonna have to delete that live stream. If people report that, I'm not reporting anyone, just so everyone knows. I'm not doing that. Obviously, the court themselves were aware of this, so I'm not doing anything like that. But I would be pulling that live stream immediately. That was breaking the law, literally. So, true crime with Shannon. I don't think people knew. Okay. Just me. I'm not a creator. I just know no cameras, audio. But with JD being restreamed by many, did this create confusion? It may be just me. Maybe. I'm very aware of that. So I was just kind of, any of my fellow creators, if you guys watch this or if you guys are subscribed to them, please tell them to take those live streams down. Like, just cut them off. I mean, I'm sure they're cut off now because the court has ended, but I would not be putting those up at all. They can literally get into legal trouble. So Duty Ron really messed it up. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Court recessed. And then all of a sudden, I was so confused because I knew Duty Ron was in there. I saw him in there. So, and then all of a sudden, I'm hearing Duty Ron on my phone. And I'm like, well, I'm not watching Duty Ron. What's going on? And he was unmuted and he was actually talking. And what he was saying was, yeah, I need everybody to subscribe to my channel. And I was like, oh my God, this man definitely does not know that he is unmuted right now, that he is saying this right now. And in the chat, someone said, what did they say? Someone said, you're not on mute. Hey, Duty Ron, you're not muted. Someone else said, get it together, Duty Ron. Another person, nobody is subscribing. This is an advertising vehicle. Duty Ron, you in court. Oh my God, dude, mute yourself. This is court. So people were commenting like, oh my gosh, you're not muted. And then all of a sudden I hear Doug from No Thanks come on and tell everyone to subscribe to him. Subscribe to him? No thanks. And I was like, okay, you know what? Why? This isn't a joke, dude. This isn't like, come on, you know? Yes, they were plugging their channels. Yeah, they were. Well, I'm going to very much assume with Duty Ron's background that he probably didn't know this, that he wasn't allowed to live stream it. And I definitely don't think he knew he was unmuted, because if he was unmuted, I don't think that's what he would have said. But Doug from No Thanks seems to have known that he was definitely unmuted, and apparently thought that was funny. Oh, he lost one of his earbuds? Oh, gosh. Tiffany Cars? Say her name. Okay. I don't know who that is. But I said her name. Duty Ron said he was so embarrassed. Oh my gosh, Liz. I was embarrassed for him. I heard it and I was like, oh my gosh, oh no, he definitely doesn't know that he's unmuted, and he's saying he was live streaming. So he just did not know. And I was like, oh my God, like I don't think he did that on purpose at all. I was embarrassed for him. Tiffany Cars. Oh, okay. Thank you. I did not. I just know more about the sister, Jessica. So Tiffany Cars. Okay. Uh, Duty Ron says he was not live streaming. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So no one on his channel heard that. We just all heard him in court telling everyone to subscribe, because it sounded like he was live streaming. Not the I don't know if he was live streaming the actual court proceedings or just live streaming while it was happening. I don't know, because I wasn't watching him. But it definitely sounded like he was just live streaming, just in general. So yeah, I know, Shannon. I was like, oh, yikes. No, you don't know what you're saying right now. You don't know you're unmuted right now. Let's see. I didn't see the stream playing live on Duty Ron. Think he was listening and streaming same time. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. He was streaming, but not streaming the court proceedings. Okay. Yeah, because I was a little confused when people were saying, Duty Ron is live streaming as well. And I was thinking, he's a police officer with a lot of long time experience. But technology is newer. So I just didn't know if he was aware of the rules of WebEx, but I would think, just as a person with his background, he would definitely look at that. Like, am I allowed to live stream? Am I allowed to do that? Because with the Brenner case, or with Dylan Rounds' case, with Brenner, I wanted to live stream that. And I very quickly found out that is illegal, and you are definitely not allowed to do that. And so, yep, he was live, but the court wasn't on screen. I scrolled back and looked. Okay. He streamed while the court was going on, but did not intend to stream the court proceedings. I assume you did the same, listening to the court while you live stream. No, I didn't, actually. I was gonna watch. I was gonna watch it, and then I was going to live stream about it, but I wasn't gonna actually live stream while it was happening, because I was just trying to pay attention. But and then I was afraid, because if I'm live streaming, I can't listen to the court on my phone at the same time, because you guys are going to hear it, and that's illegal. It's just you can't do that. Effed around and found out. Allie. Oh, Allie. No, this was not good, Allie. It really wasn't. It really wasn't. I was just sort of shocked when I seen people live streaming. I was like, oh my God, no. You're getting ready to get yourself in trouble. You don't know what you're doing right now. Please don't do this. Please don't do this to yourself. And then all of a sudden, I see the court, like go into recess or whatever. And then the judge comes back on and is like, there's YouTubers live streaming this and we're shutting the court down for the day. And I was like, oh my God, are you serious? I think tonight's news about this is going to be interesting because, again, I can already see the headline. YouTubers ruin court for Jared Leisek today, or, the victims of Jared Leisek. Yikes. No, it was already negative, Allie. You don't even need to add to it. It was already there. Allie, I tried in several chats. Yeah, I just tried to say something to Justin because he was the only person that he wasn't I don't think he was the only person. I'm not sure, but he's the only person I saw when I came on to write something on my community tab, and I was like, oh no, because again, like I don't hate Justin or anything. That's not what's happening here. It's just I said to him, I don't want to see you get in trouble for this. So, and I hope that they don't. I think that they're, that as long as they don't keep those live streams up, if they were just really unaware, I don't think that they're going to get in any trouble or anything. But this is definitely a lesson for a lot of people and YouTube as a whole, the true crime community. Yes, WebEx court proceedings cannot be live streamed or photographed or audio, nothing. You can report on it. You can, talk about it. You can give your perspective on it, but you are not allowed to show it. And the great thing about it is that anyone can watch it. So you don't need a YouTube creator to tell you about it. You can watch it yourself if you're able to. If you're not, then sure, listen to, other people that did. But Danny Age, it was intentional. It is announced at dial-in, no reproduction allowed. Every cop knows this. Yeah, I that's kind of laid out for you. You cannot do this. So, okay, I'm just not going to wish any ill will on anyone. Okay. I was really doing this live stream as like a PSA, like, please don't do this. You guys are going to get yourselves in trouble. And the next thing I know, here comes the judge. Done. We are done. There are, and purposely called it out. There are YouTubers live streaming these court proceedings and basically said that, people don't have any respect and they were shutting the court down for the day. I'm blown away. I really am. Like, holy cow, man. You guys do better. Please do better. Allie, it says it literally above the WebEx link. Broadcasting is illegal. Yeah, okay. I mean, like I said, I hope people don't get in trouble. I did put up a community post 37 minutes ago, and I said, just a reminder to my fellow creators, live streaming Jared Leisek's court proceedings is illegal. Please do not get yourselves in trouble. It is there. I tried to tell people. When that judge came on, I was just like, oh my God. I cannot even believe this is happening right now. You guys, no, we can't, we can as people with platforms, okay? We can't do this. We just can't. We can't be ruining and interfering in court proceedings. True crime with Shannon. I just told Doug to delete his video. Yeah, I would definitely suggest that. I mean, the can you guys believe that judge just really shut the entire court down for the rest of the day? They're not even that far into the day. It's Utah. I mean, jeez. They mass flag crashed a legal proceeding. Wow. Allie, did you read my above comment? Read Suzanne's preliminary hearing from that day on. What do you mean? Did that happen for Suzanne Morpho as well? Did I miss that? Okay. If that happens, what the F, man? I don't know. I am kind of, like I said, I'm trying to stay optimistic here and just really think that they didn't know. They didn't know. I'm trying to tell myself they didn't know. I don't want to be in denial, but I'm just saying I'm hoping they didn't know and they did this and it's wrong, dude. Look at my comments starting with AK, who didn't stream it, was accused of it. Oh, yes. Can we not get into that at the moment? Because you know that is an entire Pandora's box. Yeah. Danny, seen it before. It's part of PR because it's known people also don't mute and create disturbances to proceedings. You know what? Hang on. If you guys could just give me a couple minutes, I will be right back. I promise. Just give me like, I don't know, 5 minutes or less or less. Okay, I'm really sorry. I'm back. What are you guys talking about? Allie, and still we were not allowed to see anymore. Shut it down. I know. I'm really like, wow. In Colorado, you need a judge to approve beforehand if any at all is allowed. Glad I was not streaming. Yeah, Shannon, girl, I know. I am so glad you were not either. Um, no, you know what? Let's see how everybody's feeling here because I'm going to give my feel here is that I really don't believe that Justice for All knew. I just don't think he knew that wasn't allowed. Duty Ron, everybody's saying that he wasn't streaming the court proceedings, but he was streaming while the so. But either way, do you guys think that I don't think he did this on purpose. Like I don't know. I don't think so. What? So why was Johnny versus Amber different? Um, That's a great question. I don't know, just me. I just know I'm speaking, specifically about WebEx. I just know that it's illegal to record that or do anything like that. So I don't know if it's because it was civil, because it was a civil case. I'm not really sure. Allie is saying, Doug, no thanks, 100% on purpose. I'll agree with that. So, is there any way we're able to see or hear or find out what's happening if anything is happening? With WebEx, with Jared Lesek's case, Sky? Is that what you're asking? Um, yes, it is absolutely free to the public. Court proceedings, the public is allowed to watch. But again, you're not allowed to live stream it or record it or take screenshots of it and post it on anywhere, or you're just not allowed to do any of those things. um but yeah, Glorindellen is great for posting the links to different live streams for different hearings. So usually when there's a WebEx, for Jared Leisek there was, for James Brenner there was, there's been others, but she will post the links usually, which is really nice. You can go right to her channel and go on her community tab, and it's right there. Click it. You will have to download the WebEx app. It's not a big deal, and then you'll just go in as a guest, as part of the public watching court proceedings. When you're in person in court, you must be quiet. You're not allowed to have outbursts in court. You're not allowed to film in court. You are not allowed to take pictures in court. It's no different on WebEx. They expect you, as the public watching, to respect all of those rules. Yeah. Allie, or Hermit Z Frog. Mal, are you ever going to change your name back? Probably not. Oh, hi, Tortitude. Doug was muted. If anyone heard outside his channel, it was due to hot mics and other channels. No, Torty. Actually, he was on the screen. His name was on the screen, and he was talking. So no, he wasn't muted. I was watching it. So, Mal, I didn't even know anyone else could chime in. They will probably make it private now. Well, when you go into WebEx, they automatically, mute you. So when you unmute yourself or try to, it's just, what are you doing? Are you a lawyer? Are you before the judge? Are you a witness? Are you anything? There is no reason ever to unmute. There's just not. You are a part of the public watching court proceedings. That is the right in this country. The public is allowed to watch court proceedings, and all of that kind of thing. That is part of our justice system. But there are also rules to that. Court proceedings are very, how they are. They're very, structured, and they don't want any hours from the peanut gallery, so to speak. You are there to observe. You are not a part of it. You're not on the jury. You're not anything like that. So if anyone makes an outburst in court, what happens? They get removed. I'm just kind of mind blown that she literally shut the entire court down for the entire day. Like, that sets their calendar back. And a lot of courts are already overloaded. You should watch some Utah court proceedings. I mean, they're so backed up. Okay, so who is this? What is this? Danny. Oh, Danny. Only court can stream. What cop doesn't know this? Every cop participates in court proceedings at some point. How does one not know? Well, just Shannon said she didn't know. She said she didn't know. I mean, yeah, I will tell you guys. Like I said, I was like, I really wanted to live stream Brenner. I mean, this is a guy we had all heard about for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. Main suspect in Dylan's um, disappearance, and no, and as bad as I wanted to show you guys what this guy looked like, and all of us watch it together, it's illegal. It's illegal. Cannot do it. Sorry. I can only talk about it. True crime with Shannon. Learning experience for many today. Yes. And I hope that everyone just, take note, guys, please. And we got to do a little bit better in learning these sorts of things. You are participating in legal proceedings. Uh, Probably a good idea just to see, what you are allowed and not allowed to do. The media, journalists and things, they are not, there's only, sometimes they will allow, just like say East Idaho News in to film it or whatever, and that's it. Or just, select news places that will, respect the court process. But when you're just a spectator, um, please don't do stuff like this. Just please look into it and say, hey, it's a legal proceeding. Obviously, there's going to be some type of rule, some type of, let me just make sure that it's okay if I do this. And that's what I did. That's what I did with Brenner's thing, and it was Glorindellen, actually. Glorindellen was like, absolutely not. That is illegal. I was like, ooh, okay. Noted. Done. So, I watched it, of course, but yeah, you guys didn't see anything from me like that because I don't want to legally get myself in trouble. I don't want to disrespect a court proceeding. Um, Again, it's free for me to watch. I was allowed to watch it. I got an idea of just Brenner, his gait, his appearance, all of that. But again, anyone can do this. It isn't just for creators. Anyone can do this. So you guys don't have to watch live streams of this. You can just watch it yourself, or again, if you don't have time, you can just listen to someone recap it. But and don't be afraid. I mean, you don't have to be a jerk to people, because again, I think a lot of people really didn't know this, and they're finding this out like now. But if you see someone that is doing this with any court case, just politely say to them, like, hey, you can't do this. This is actually illegal. I don't want to see you, get yourself in trouble, get your channel taken down, because you're not aware. So of course public has right, but it is stated at dial-in no reproduction and streaming. Links were shared to thousands. Uh, Danny, you are correct. I have nothing, no rebuttal to that. Because yes, it is. It is stated. So some people are a little hard-headed, like me, I guess. But actually, no, because before Brenner's hearing even happened, um, I was speaking with Glorindellen, and I was like, "Oh, I want to live stream it," and she was like, "Absolutely not," And I was like, "Oh, I'm not allowed to do that," and I had never been on WebEx before. So, she was like, absolutely not. You cannot take any pictures. You can't do anything like that. That's all illegal. So I was like, okay. And yeah, you do see it in Dial In where it states that specifically. You're not allowed to do that. Allie, irresponsible not to do some due diligence, in my opinion. This isn't a game. It's someone's actual life. Yeah, I kind of, I kind of feel bad for the victims because, this has now been postponed. This has now been postponed because people were not educated on what they could do, and you got to take the time to kind of figure that out. You can't just again, you have to remember that you are meddling in public, court proceedings, but there are rules for the public to view those things. And if they're not respected, this is what happens. That now everything's been shut down. These victims, the ball hasn't started rolling for them because it's been shut down today. And many people were ready to just hear anything about it, because we want to know how this goes. This was quite a big deal to the YouTube community, especially the true crime community. This was a group, Adventures with a Purpose. I don't need to introduce them to you guys. You know exactly who they are. But, there were many, many people, myself included, that respected these guys. They found people. They found loved ones. That's an honorable thing. But what Jared Leisek did is the most despicable thing you could ever do. And I'm saying did because he admitted it. Why do you think he's going to court for it? The emails. Why don't you just type up your confession and hand it to the DA on a silver platter? Because that's what you did. So we want to see some justice for these victims. And people are not doing their due diligence with stuff, man. Come on, you guys. I don't think you're bad people. I'm not going to sit here and beat you up for 2 hours. But again, I did try to warn one creator while they were live streaming this. I don't know if they saw my comment or not. I know people in the chat responded to me saying, well, other people are live streaming it too. Why can't this person? Which again, I don't know everyone else that was live streaming this. I only know that person because they popped up as soon as I got onto YouTube. So I think Doug from No Thanks was also live streaming, correct, Shannon? And then I other than those two, I'm not sure who else. I think Queen Bee as well. Queen Bee is not somebody that I think is going to intentionally break court proceeding rules or try to hurt victims. Okay. I'm just going to say that. So this is not an attack on her in any way. I feel like she just literally didn't know. So again, I'm going to go with what Shannon said, that this was a big learning thing today for a lot of people. But now that we all know, if a new creator comes along and they're unaware, and we see a WebEx coming on about a case that we're all watching or following, definitely don't be afraid to tell them, because we see what happens when people do this. She was swearing on there. On where, Mal? In the court proceeding? Because I didn't hear her do that. Lee would love. Hey, how are you? I think some of this falls on the court. They use a program that does not have security to prevent screaming, or I'm sorry, screaming. Or everybody else is screaming right now about this. To prevent streaming and screen records for guests. Yes. I'm guessing that they assume that people that that log into these things are able to read simple rules, and they don't need to do that, but they underestimate the human race sometimes. Alley Cat, Alley Cattails. If you are in this space, show it the reverence it deserves. Exactly. Our courts, law, victim, justice. Just read the instructions. Yes, thank you. That's pretty much what it is, you guys. Skies are pink. He should be allowed to do what he wants and click his fingers. QB was swearing there. Jared has a large YouTube network. This case is bad PR, and his network will be exposed eventually. Oh yeah, I have no doubt that he's going to go down, Danny. None. But because of the nature of his crimes, I would like to watch it live happen. um, Jared Leisek, the Murdaugh case. It just goes to show you that the people with money don't always win. Sometimes, but not always. And when they are really, held to task for the things that they've done or did, I I'm glad, because it really shouldn't be always poor people. There's a ton of poor people in jail. They don't have money for lawyers, can't get out and stuff. The rich people have the money to fight and carry on and drag out court cases that they absolutely committed. But those two cases, like Jared, being held to task with this is huge. This is a guy I think that really felt like he sat on top of the world. You couldn't tell him nothing. I feel like that was his attitude. Like, I'm the king of the world. What are you going to do about it? You ain't going to do anything about that. I got this giant YouTube channel. I make a crap ton of money. And everyone loves me and likes me. There's people that secretly think I'm creepy, but they won't say it because they like what I do. Surprise. Surprise. I am glad that he is being held accountable for what he admitted to doing. I mean, in those emails, did you ever see him say, "What are you talking about? I didn't do this to you. Are you insane?" No, no. He wasn't doing any of that. He acknowledged it for sure, in a major way, where I almost feel like the whole damn family needs to be looked at, because there is some crazy generational, it appears, generational abuse going on there. Major. Lee would love. I go to concerts online and better security. Great to see you all. And 100% knew Jess would be broadcasting. Did you? Because I haven't been broadcasting too much. I mean, more so lately. I was on hiatus there for a while, you guys. Just real life. You already know. I don't need to go into it. Allie, it's full of trauma, and so many are underqualified to handle these extremely serious legal, emotional, mental issues as they arise. Even more damage can be done. There's ethics to consider with platform. Thank you. You say what I can't. You just say it so eloquently and on point, Allie. When you really want to string some words together, nobody does it better than you. Okay, that is perfectly said. Um, you do have a responsibility. You do. And I'm not trying to sound like a freaking stick in the mud or like I'm better than anyone else, because I've definitely made mistakes. But you do have to realize that when you are talking about these active live cases, today was a really bad day for YouTube. Today was a really bad day for YouTube creators. Um, and the silver lining, I'm going to go with Shannon again, is that this was a big learning experience, okay, for a lot of people. But yes, we directly saw the actions of our YouTube community affect an active court proceeding. And That was disheartening to see for me. It just was. Hi, Sarah. Yeah, I honestly think he's going to walk. Ugh. Yes, I'm praying you're wrong as well. He's pleading not guilty. I don't care how he pleads. He basically admitted it. Okay. How can he do that after admitting it in an email? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Plead however you want, but evidence is evidence is evidence. Evidence doesn't lie, but people do. Those are your words, sir. When you didn't think anybody was watching, which that's what character is, by the way. It's what you do when no one's watching that really matters. For some of us, we've got that a little twisted. We think it's what we do when everyone's watching. No, guys, there are things that you have to be very careful with. Court proceedings are one of them. I'm going to bring up Lauren Dellon again, but she was the first person that I've talked to, and probably one of two, no, three, that have actually, seen Brenner in person or know him. She saw him in court, but she knew she was not allowed to take a picture of him. She was not allowed to record him. So all she could tell me was what she saw of him. So when everyone kept saying, oh, he's 5'10 and da 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 da, she kept saying to me, no, he's not. I'm not that tall. And I could see above his head. He's no taller than like 5'3". He's short. On video, it's hard to tell the height of someone, really, you know? But I got to watch him walk from the back room all the way in to sit down in front of the camera before the judge. He does not appear to be a tall man. He doesn't. So, lead with love. I unsub to all my true crime channels except 3, and you are one of them. Ah, thank you, lead with love. Just fill my love tank up today, lady. I'm glad you said that. I do try. I'm nobody special, like I always say. I'm not a reporter. I'm not. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a cop. I'm not a detective. I'm not a PI. I'm just a person like you guys. Okay. I just try to use a little common sense and do the right thing. And I don't. I think in this space, the true crime YouTube space, you kind of need to do that. Just a little common sense here. You start messing around with the legal system. You know, you need to watch what you're doing carefully. You're messing around with cases, you're talking to people, you're doing that. Use some common sense in what you should discern and what you should say and what you should broadcast and what you, all of that. You must, so that you really don't screw up cases, because many creators are accused of that, of screwing up cases. You're going to screw up the case. Stop releasing this, blah, blah, blah. But sadly today, we actually saw YouTube directly interfere in a court proceeding and have it shut down. There is zero denying that is what happened. Allie, any new medium takes time for things to level out, but it's still the Wild West on here. Well, people need to simmer down. Okay? You could still have great live streams, but you don't have to break the freaking law while you're doing it, while you're reporting on the law. Please don't break the law while you're reporting on the law. That should just be what it is. But it's still Wild West on here, and people are being reckless with people's actual lives. They risk justice not being served. I'm gonna tell you, I was disheartened today. I can't, I can't deny it. I can't. Lord, she drug out the words, use common sense. Did I join a serious convo? Kinda, Tamara. Hey, girl. What are you doing, Robbie? yeah, I'm sure you've seen what happened, Robbie, today, and Tamara. I'm sure you both, Tamara. Jesus, what is wrong with me? I am sorry. I'm a little worked up, because I'm just really disheartened with this community. I'm even trying to err on the side of positivity and say that I don't believe that some of these creators that were doing this knew. I don't believe they did. I really don't. Guys, come on. What? Say it. Say something. Allie, sad for the victims. Yes, me too. Damn it. Me too. It's just Robbie. Crazy how just that one lady's video talking about Jared the neighbor really has done a number on him. What video? Oh, you don't know what happens? Well, today was Jared Leisek's first court appearance for this. It was being broadcast on WebEx. He had to appear through video. He was there. He was in the queue. Okay. Doug Bishop also in the queue. Also, a lot of YouTubers in the queue. I was looking at everyone that was in there because I was watching it as well. Unfortunately, we had several creators that were live streaming the court proceedings. This is completely illegal, Robbie. You are not allowed to do that. You are not allowed to play the audio. You are not allowed to live stream it. You are not allowed to take pictures. They were just live streaming it. Yeah, because of that, the whole entire court was shut down for the rest of the day. So no one saw Jared Leisek. No one heard anything. And the victims are, still, we haven't got the ball rolling. So we just seen a very, again, I keep using this term, but a very direct link with YouTube creators directly affecting a live court proceeding. And that was disheartening to see. It's just Robbie. I've been following the Daybell case since day one. I know these things, and I'm a court runner. Yeah. Here's Jim. Jim, you behave yourself. Hi. Do you see what happened?
The first thing we need to do is stop calling these people creators. They're not creating anything.
Okay.
They're not creating. Queen Bee is not creating anything.
Jim.
It's not happening.
Jim, please. I am. You see me trying to be not like hateful to people. I don't think that these people actually knew. How they didn't know, that they didn't know. I don't want to believe that they knew. You believe they knew?
Here's what I believe. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
Now, we're gonna be real, right?
I'm being real. I really don't think they knew.
I am in a situation because of what I've done in my background and because of how I've dealt with these YouTube creators and all these different people to be able to know who many of these people are where most people don't. Okay? There's a ton of these shows where you have never seen the YouTube owner. You've never seen what they look like, where they live. You don't know anything about them. I do. It's why they have doxing in place. It gives the allure that the person behind the curtain is us. 98% of YouTube true crime people are extremely uneducated. Many of them have never graduated high school. They have no law enforcement background. They are no different than youth football coaches that think they're coaching Tom Brady when they got 8-year-olds running around.
They're no different than me. I'm none of those things either, but I know this.
Hold on a second. Then throw yourself in it. I'm not in that group. Then again, I'm not.
I'm just saying.
So when people, and by the way, if you're at home at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and you're a YouTube channel and you're going on, these are chat lines. That's all these are, chat lines.
And well, that's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, I actually like that term because that's really what it is.
Yeah, it's all it is. Now, listen, I'm a creator. Let me tell you why I'm a creator. And by the way, if Robbie has time to be in your chat room, Robbie had a little chore today. I don't know why Robbie's in your chat room and not doing the chore.
Because Robbie wants to be in the chat. What's his chore? Why does he have a chore?
Where's my porn star, Robbie? You got it.
Okay. And why? What? Can you do this off air? You and Robbie take up that off air, please.
Well, no. Robbie had a chore. He's over here. He says, I'm extremely busy today. Well, Robbie, hopefully you got it. Now it's somebody else's fault. You get the website done, and now I says, get one of your porn girls on my show. And he says, okay, I'll call him. I doubt those calls were made, but listen, we have to understand what this true crime
Yes, no,
is.
yeah. Let's get back on topic here, because what happened today was dude.
Failures.
They shut down a real court proceeding. Like, do you understand the severity of this?
Yeah, I don't understand why it doesn't happen more often. You know what they need to do?
Because I don't think people do this. That's why. I didn't do this with Brenner.
30%. They're not going to shit where they eat. You know what they ought to do? They ought to make everybody, you are monetized on YouTube unless you show your face 80% of the time on your channel. Now, if you're going to stream puppies or kittens or, your kid's Halloween party or whatever, that's your decision. You are not going to draw a check from YouTube as any sort of a creator unless people know who you are. You don't have to show your face, but we're going to know who you are. See, that's what's accountability with this.
I'm good with who I am. I'll go on. I haven't been on my last several live streams, but I don't, none of that stuff bothers me. Like, I am who I am. I have no qualms with it.
People know who you are. You have a phone number up here.
Yeah. And that's my real phone number, and you know that. So.
Yeah. So the problem here is accountability. And when you get a bunch of people, and let's face it, the true crime people that follow this stuff, and I don't consider you in that group, so that's why I'm able to say this without hopefully offending you. The people that follow this are the same morons that watch Judge Judy, or that are going to go and watch Jerry Springer, or watch Maury Povich to see who the father is.
You didn't like Judge Judy?
People are not at work.
I like Judge Judy.
You can like them, but that doesn't mean that your audience is very intelligent. These are people home on government assistance. These are people home on living off of child support. These are people that are living off of government aid. That's why, let me put it to you this way. I'll tell you what, I'll give $200 in cash to the first physician that's listening to this show that calls in right now. If there's a doctor listening to this show, or somebody with a fucking master's degree, go ahead and give us a call right now.
Well, I that's not what I promote, though. Like, I do like a more intimate chat. I do like to see my subscribers talk. I'd like to talk to them. I like a more, and whoever these people are is whoever they are. I do not ever, you know me. I never claim to be anything I'm not. I just don't. I'm not. I say it all the damn time.
You're also not getting court proceedings.
No, because come on, man. Like, I'm telling you, Jim, I'm serious. Like, I have a heart and shit, something you don't, but I do. Can I just tell everybody about your freaking Christmas tree, or you already did?
No, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. So Jim wants to have a little Christmas tree on his channel. If you don't know what his channel is,
they know what the channel.
Well, Tamara put it in. Tamara put it in the chat because somebody asked where you've been. They haven't seen you apparently. He's behind a paywall called Jim Terry TV.
Oh no! We were free last night.
Were you?
The extra, yeah. When I'm gonna spend money to have Chicks Venstra talk to me, yeah, that's behind a paywall. And some of the reason we went behind a paywall, Jess, this is very dangerous, and this is why I'm so adamant about all of this. It's not because I give a shit about numbers as much as you think. We had other channels that were so upset with my success and the amount of money that was coming in. I do this as a job. This is a monetarily income type deal for me. I'm not one of these creators who go, I don't care about the money. Here's my cash app. Listen, we're doing this because it makes money. That's it. So what I'm telling you,
own it. If that's what you do, that's what you do.
We're finding out who my super chat people were and calling their jobs and threatening their kids' schools and dealing with them. That's how they were getting people not to super chat me.
Christ.
Yep. That's how, because if people that don't do that, when I came into this, I took a chunk out of all these people. Perplex, QT, Queen Bee. I took a financial chunk, Doug, I took a chunk. That first show hit, and I had 26 live people watching, and you're making $1,400 a show just in super chats. That took away from the $100 to $125 a show some of these other programs got. And there is nothing that irritates me because now they can't buy their e-cigarettes. Now they can't buy their dope.
I would like to take this moment, since we're just tooting our own horns here, to say that I think I probably was the only person that said to you, I don't give a shit about that. We're not doing that. Did I not?
Yeah. You're not in this ilk. You're not in this ilk. This has nothing to do with you. Listen, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why you're a creator. And the only really aspect of this that I know is Dylan Rounds. You had Kurt Wadsworth on, right?
Yep.
You dealt with Candace Cooley. You dealt with detectives. You dealt with FBI agents, okay? You weren't in front of somebody's house with a megaphone or a microphone screaming you killed a baby. That's not a content creator. You know what I wish somebody would do that in my neighborhood. I wish, because there's so many other people in that neighborhood that are affected by that, but yet these people that are at home that have $50 or $60 in their Cash App because they just got done braiding somebody's hair, send $2 to $3 in because it's a great way to be entertained while you're waiting for your kids to come back from their father's house on a Thursday.
But it's not entertaining. It's shock jockeying like in real life. And it's more like you watch in horror. Like, what?
It is entertainment. That is entertainment. There's people that some some of these channels are getting to. I watched a channel the other day that had 2,600 people watching a fat lady yelling at somebody through a megaphone.
Are you talking about Bullhorn Betty?
I don't. Well, maybe it wasn't. There was a bunch of them.
Was she blonde?
There was a blonde lady. I get them all confused. There's one lady that's like blonde, and then she might be dating this guy that looks like Shaggy from Scooby Doo.
You're talking about
Dolly Vision. Which, by the way, I mean, if you want to send $12 to a guy that sits there and smokes weed on his channel and acts like he has it, I mean, do you really think that? How well do you think Dolly Vision did in school? I mean, does he seem like an educated type of a guy for you? Meanwhile, there's channels out there of former detectives. Let me give you a channel that's phenomenal. Scott Reich. Go look up Scott Reich.
Oh, I know exactly. I watched you on Scott Reich.
Yep,
I was like, what the hell is Jim doing on Scott Reich? This is after I talked to you for the first time. And I was like, holy shit, Jim is on Scott Reich.
He reached out
and
to
I did watch that show. Yeah, it was actually, it was a good one. He likes you.
He's not on there with a couple of gay dudes talking about fucking tampons. He's not on there with fucking
what does that even mean?
He's not selling candles. You know what he's doing? He's a professional who has a studio in his house, and when he's not fighting crime in court, he has a YouTube channel, which gets about 135 live viewers. People like to see people
Can I be a little critical? TV. I like Scott Reich. I actually do. I like Scott Reich.
This channel's not entertaining. It's informative.
It's informative. But here's what I don't like is usually like when I get latched onto a case, I want to hear about that case. He always does like 5, like I don't know, 20 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever, 5 different cases. And there might be 1 or 2 that I'm interested in, and I'll skip to that, and then I'll watch the rest. So I wish that he would just if he's gonna do a show, just pick one topic and maybe do 30 minutes, 45 minutes on that or whatever. I think that would be way more. I mean, he's lucrative. He definitely is. He's good at what he does. He's a good YouTuber for sure.
His YouTube channel is a billboard for what his real career is, which is what he went to school in.
Yeah.
Now, if you're offended by what I'm saying out there in the chat, this is kind of like this. If you go to a family reunion, everybody knows who the stupidest fucking relative is.
Oh my God.
If you don't know who that is, you're the stupid relative. And that's
who's yours?
Right now.
Who's yours, Jim? You don't have to give the name, but just the first initial of the name.
Oh, me. At least I can admit it. My brother's got a master's. My sister's a doctor. My parents. Oh my God! No, at the table.
You're the idiot PI that everybody's like, "Where's he at? What couch is he on? What state's this guy in? Where's he at?"
Private investigator is only part of it. It's indoor and arena football. That's my career's been that.
Let me ask you this. This is a real question. As a private investigator, do you find that other private investigators really keep their private lives very private? Like, is that why you do that? And do other ones do the same as well because they know how easy it is to, you know?
This is something I have tried desperately to let people know exists out there. Private investigators are as different as lawyers. There are some private investigators that you go to their website, you don't know what they look like, you've never heard their voice, you got to go through 5 people to get a hold of them, and they work under an attorney.
Yeah.
I'm the other way. I want everybody to know who I am. Because I'm not in an area where I want you to know I'm coming. I don't give a shit. So there's no such thing as bad press. I just finished an interview with the Rolling Stone magazine. Now, whether it's going to be good or not, I don't know. But I can tell you, they found out a lot of. Yeah, we did, and I recorded the entire 2.5-hour interview with Mr. X and Miss T on my program. We have it uncensored.
What was the topic?
The woman wanted to do a hatchet job on me. The 5 or 6 haters out there that hate Jim Terry, and you know
Are
who
you
they were.
serious? This was a hate piece on you?
They contacted a woman. They said I was a felon. I took money. I didn't work on cases. That I had no legitimate background, which means all private. And this woman is in London. Her name is Lucas. She's the one that did the article.
Jimmy, you are hard to find.
I'm the easiest guy in the world to find. My phone number.
No,
right
you're
there.
phone. You're easy to talk to. And I'm not going to say like I put out a search team or anything. I didn't, but you're a little difficult to find.
If somebody wants to meet me face to face, it starts with a phone call. If they don't have the balls to call me on the phone, I'm not going to meet them face to face. I'm not going to drive to El Paso to prove that I exist. But here's the deal. So I got a call about 3 months ago from a woman that was doing a hatchet job on me, and I realized that the 5 people she had on her Facebook were all 5 people that hated me. They're the same 5 people that follow me around the internet continuously. The first thing she started out with the interview is, well, how do you get to be a private investigator with a felony? And I says, whoa. I pray and I hope you put that in the fucking, which, by the way, I didn't even know that the Rolling Stone magazine even existed. Does Playboy still even exist? I don't even know. I didn't even know people read magazines.
You know what? That's a great question. Are you actually, for once in like 6 or 7 or however many months, making my chat like you? This is the first, Jim.
Well, because it's the truth.
This is the
because
first.
I said if you didn't like me, so the deal was, she said, you're a felon. I said, no, I'm not. She goes, well, this Candace lady and this Easterling lady, they all say you're a felon. So I had her call my attorney, and I says, if you put in that I'm a felon, we'll sue you. And then she called my attorney, and I guess she's figured this out. Jim Terry is not a convicted felon. Now, it'll be interesting to see if she puts. So now the article's kind of like, uh-oh. And I said, I'm recording this, and we video recorded it and audio. So I have the whole video. So they did a 2.5-hour interview with me. They also contacted detectives and police officers. Now, I did give them the Idaho Dylan Rounds FBI agent. He's not allowed to speak to them because he would have to get a superior. The FBI doesn't do interviews. So there's other cases that I worked on, and after about 2 hours of an interview, when this lady started contacting the detectives and the cops and the stuff that said, yeah, these people dropped off this missing kid here and said, whatever you do, take the kid, but never have the private investigator bother us again. When she started talking to those cops, it killed their story. Like, it was the story in Rolling Stone magazine was going to be all these devastated mothers that were taken advantage by this grifting private investigator. Until the lady doing the article started calling the police that were involved in it. They said, no, that guy's a fucking animal. He might talk, he might call people cunts, but he's a fucking animal. Yeah, he wouldn't stop. He still hasn't stopped. So what happened was it blew it out of the water. So it'll be interesting to see how that article comes out.
You know what? Hi, Grandma. I have to say hi to Grandma. You know.
Hey, Grandma, how's Grandma? Let me say something.
Grandma doesn't like you, Jim. You know that.
Cash apps. Grandma, I'll give you my Cash App again if you want to send another $100. I appreciate that.
Please don't piss her off. She already does not like you. And this is one of my oldest subscribers, one of my top mods. She protects my channel like it's her baby. And so don't piss her off, please. She's a good person.
Because I'm like the one guy that plays a basketball game, and I only think about the one play I screwed up in. Ask her why she doesn't like me. I want to know the reason.
Well, we got to know how much time everyone has, because there might be multiple reasons, Jim.
Yeah, give me her top 2. I want her top 2. I'm serious. I'm not being mean to her. I really want to know what that is, because I can improve.
I wouldn't even let you be mean to her. I really wouldn't. Grandma,
me to tell you what's gonna
if you would be inclined, could you tell Jim the top 2 things in your right off the top of your head that he did that made you completely dislike him?
And they're going to be opinionated. Let me tell you what they're probably going to be. Okay. I don't like how he talks to women. That's going to be number 1.
She wants to know why you even care, Jim.
Because I care. I want to know why. Because I'll tell you why. Because she seems like a smart older lady who follows us, who you have respect for, other than some whack job in your chat room who's like a former sex worker. She's obviously somebody I care about her opinion, and I want to know why. She is what my demographic I would like it to be. You have one of those in there, and they're very rare to get a hold of. So I'm going to say she doesn't like the way I talk about women. Is probably going to be her number 1 thing.
Yeah.
The other thing is she's going to say, I don't like how he said Dylan was gay. Those are going to be the 2 things.
No, I'm going to disagree with you.
Go ahead. What are they?
I don't exactly know. I just know she doesn't like your vulgar shit. She doesn't she doesn't like that. Hi, Chris. Yes, you are here. Hi, how are you? The real person. Thank God you are finally here. People have been imitating you, sir. And just so you know, Jim, whether you know or not, which I think that you do, some person on YouTube or on Facebook has sent a picture to me that they made. It's me with the body that's definitely not mine. I wish it was, but unfortunately it's not. And your head is between my legs.
Well, that's a real picture. I don't know why you're telling people that that's Photoshop. I mean, that's
Jim,
when we went on that camping trip.
Jim, I will come through this phone, however need be, and smack the shit out of you. You know what? Tyler will find you, Jim. If I can't find you, Tyler will find you. Tyler is not a cuck. I promise you that. I promise you that.
Why doesn't
hang on. We have a caller coming in. Hang on a second.
Yes. Hopefully it's Robbie.
It's not, but it's somebody I want to talk to. Hang on.
That's big over here.
Jim, what the hell are you talking about? I had this other person. Listen, you guys, real quick.
I thought you were away and I had to fill in the time.
No, nobody heard anything. I muted my mic because it was the detective, and there was a question that he had for you. Sure. If you, and the question was, do you know exactly, or did you get anything about what Dylan Rounds was doing on Thursday, the day after he saw Chase Venstra on his birthday, of what Dylan Rounds was doing on that Thursday?
Depends on who you ask, and I'll give you a list of them.
Well, I know one thing, that he talked to his dad, because Justin said he talked. Okay.
He was eating a hamburger. The other one that I got the call was that he actually was power washing his own truck. I got that one a lot. That he was seen hanging around the Wadsworths. It just depends who you ask. So I have no idea unequivocally what he was doing. If you ask the Wadsworth family, he was doing one thing. If you ask his family, he was doing another. If you ask the local townspeople, he was doing another. Unfortunately, I couldn't even tell you, and I'm closest this thing to anybody, when he went missing.
Same and same, because you are exactly correct. It does matter who you talk to, because you get different accounts from different people of what that actually was. The only thing that I believe, that I know for sure, that he did on Thursday was talk to Justin Rounds. Justin Rounds was on East Idaho News and said that was the last day he talked to him. Him and his daughter, Brooklyn, Dylan's sister, were on their way to Las Vegas. They no specification on what they were going to do, but that he was talking to Dylan on the way there. Dylan told him about his plans for that weekend. He didn't elaborate on what was said. I would love to know exactly what Dylan told him he was going to do, because this was a Memorial Day weekend. Everybody's barbecuing. People are, kind of letting their hair down. You know how it is. You know how it is. And the Wadsworths were doing this. There was a festival not far from there. There was, listen, one of my sources, you don't even know this person. This is one of the people I know that you don't. And I have never made him public because he does not want to be that. But this person lives there. There was 800 people, Jim, camping out on Memorial Day weekends, right up there by that Lion Mountain, right above Dylan's property. Do you mean to tell me that a 19-year-old kid that liked to have a drink from time to time, he did? If you're a person that believes, hey, you can fight for the country at 18, you should be able to have a drink, then I'm with you on that. Okay, so Dylan Rounds liked to have a drink. Yeah, sue him.
Well, he was arrested for it, right? He was
yes, he was, and it was, I'm not going to sit here on a high pedestal and act like I didn't drink at 19, because I would be lying to you people. I did. Well, of course you didn't, Mr. Perfect, but I did, okay? So Dylan, I am not looking at Dylan like he's some terrible person. He liked to have a little drink, okay? But either way, there's a lot of shit, man. You have
he spends 40 nights with Kurt Wadsworth, according to Kurt Wadsworth. 30 to 40 nights is what Kurt Wadsworth says, and wasn't invited to their family barbecue that weekend. And you'll have his mom tell everybody that he would just eat a pack of hot dogs and get out there and plow. And listen, I have interviewed, I've never talked about this, but I will here. I've interviewed some farmers. One was in Ohio, one was in Idaho, and one actually knew Dylan Rounds, and they said that farm was a joke. It was an absolute joke. Nothing was going to grow there. Nothing was going to happen. And listen, that's terrible to say about what was supposedly somebody's life work. But if anybody thought that was going to be profitable in the next 5 years, they need their head examined.
Well, you know what's sad is that, we had some YouTubers, whatever you want to call them. Lauren Dellen, she is a YouTuber. She was out there. There was no crop. Nothing came up.
He didn't even have his trailer clean. He wasn't living there. He was at Kurt Wadsworth's house.
He really wasn't living there.
So why does a grandma like me? Because I can't read the chat because I'm not near the computer. Tell me what it is.
Well, you must see something because I'm not even looking at it. Where is grandma?
I saw someone said it's all about clicks and money. Well, yeah. So is television.
I'm going to go. Just check your email. Check my email? What's going on?
Must be a dissertation.
No, I don't. I don't know. There's been so many.
My question to
comments.
Grandma would be if what she says is legitimate, and I mean she has her own opinion of why she doesn't like me, but if it's anything that she says, hey, listen, because if she said, hey, you can't say he's been wrong about these cases, you can't say that. You can't say it's because he hasn't solved cases. I find it interesting, and I'm not a true crime guy, but the only guy out there on these channels that goes on true crime.
Jim, you want me to say the nicest thing I'll probably ever say to you, honestly?
Go ahead. What's
that we were talking about Scott Rice, right?
Yeah.
You have that ability. You have that ability if you stop insulting. For whatever reason you insult, you dig deep, you go to your therapist, you talk to that person about it. I'm not a freaking therapist, but talk to them about it and dig deep. And if you can cut that out and do what Scott Rice does, because Scott Rice is a lot like you, and I think that's why he likes you, is because he's always on. This is not a guy that uses substances. This is his natural person. This is your natural person.
Yeah, I don't even drink soda.
No, you
But
don't,
Scott,
which is a good thing. A lot of people cannot say that. I can't say that.
if I was going to be a true crime channel, I would be Scott Reich. But I'm not a true crime channel. I run an entertainment channel, and I just happen to be a private investigator. Listen, you will not find
Yeah,
any
but
of my
your
shows.
private investigator stories, Jim, with going
I've
through
never talked
cases
about
would
any
be
other
highly
cases.
interesting to people. Number one. Number two, you take out the insulting of people. Keep that to whatever inner circle you have. We all have that inner circle we can cut up with. But either way, just off of the YouTube, but keep it to the cases that you've been involved in. That's people like to see that because again, like you said, we already made this point earlier. There's a lot of private investigators that they're private because they know how easy it is to get information on people and all that, so they stay away from it. You do the opposite. You're like, hey, here I am, here's my number, blah 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 blah. But if you're like that and you have the personality for YouTube, and you do, another compliment, take that as you will, you do, but I think you would do so much better. And I told you publicly before, I already know what's going to happen to your channel. You're going to turn into some bullshit, some all kinds of drama. People get sick of that shit. But people will never get sick of hearing about a private investigators, the cases they've gone through, how they went down them, the outcome of them. Even if you were not the person that actually found that person, even if it was a venture with a purpose, was Jed Hall. But your letter from Jed Hall's mother is everything.
And nobody would put her on. Nobody would put
I
her
told
on
you that I would like to have her on.
Nobody would
I would
put her on
absolutely
until
speak to
eventually
her.
Now people, well, here's the deal. First of all, monetarily, my numbers crush Scott Reich. I'm making an incredible amount of money every month doing this. If I wanted to do that, I'd have 112 people.
But are you really
watching me
happy
live.
doing that? Because you don't
Yeah.
like when people don't like you.
No, I don't care. I don't like.
Yes, you
when people
do
don't like
care.
me
Or you
and
want to
don't
ask
have the-
Grandma?
No, because here's the problem with Grandma. Grandma does not have the ability to come on here. Here's what I would like.
Oh,
I'd
yes, she
tone
does.
down for this.
Yes, she
I would
does.
well, then she's not calling in.
But she doesn't need to call in. I talked to her.
I'd like Grandma to call in and tell me why she doesn't like me. You know why? Because it's going to be opinion based.
So here's Grandma's last comment that I'm seeing from her.
Sure.
Jim Terry, the nightmare ex-husband.
There you go. I remind her of a guy who divorced her. Right?
No, I think she's just saying that. Hang on just a sec. I gotta mute just for a sec. No, you don't have to take over. Just hold on. All right, guys. So this is a detective. We'll just call him that I have worked with since the beginning of Dylan's
I spoke
case.
with him one time before, right?
Yes, Jim has been on a private call off air with myself and the detective. Hi, detective. How are you?
Fine. Jim, I only have not a very long time, but one of the questions that I want to ask, because you talked to Jay Spencer quite a bit.
Especially in the last month, I've talked to him 4 times. Yes, and I've recorded every call.
Okay.
Every call was on my show, by the way.
Okay. Here's the question I want to ask, and it's
$6.99 a month.
I know. As I understand it, Dylan picked up Chase at mile marker 51 and then drove him to mile marker 53, where then a phone call was placed to Chase Spencer's dad, as I understand it, correct?
Correct.
All right. Now, as I understand it, mile marker 53 would be going towards the Idaho border. 51 would be closer to Lucin. Is that your understanding on Group 30?
I never looked into it because I was more interested to what exit had those what mile marker had those cameras, and there is one out there that has cameras. But yes, real quick.
It's on Route 30, right? Near
Yes.
Rosette.
But when I found out Chase Venstra 2 days prior to his disappearance was seen on camera at a pizza place, I could give a shit less what what truck stop, what exit, or what. It kind of just fell away. But go ahead. Yeah, you're probably right on that.
Okay, well, the reason I'm asking this, there's a couple of questions that I doubt have been asked. I'd like to know from Chase, which direction was Dylan going? In other words, did Dylan pass through 53 coming back from Idaho and see Chase Vinstra at 51, turn around and take him back to 53? Or was Dylan picking him up at 53 and continuing on towards Idaho on that day? Very interesting. And what truck was he in? I think that is a very interesting question because supposedly Dylan was supposed to go to Idaho on the Tuesday, make a quick trip because that's when he was paid by Ann Iverson, and that he was going to make a quick trip and come back the same day. It was
And Dylan went to Idaho often, very, very often.
So
actually.
the question is, if he was on that road, was he returning from Idaho? Was he going to Idaho? Or did he have a post office box in that area? What did Chase think Dylan was doing if he knew at all?
Why don't I do this? Well, hold on. Why don't I do this? Because I can't answer those questions. I don't know.
Right.
But why don't you call me off the air and I'll put you on a phone call with me and Chase, and you could ask him yourself.
That would be great.
And you could record it and play it here for all I give a shit.
Can I be on that phone call, Jim? I'll mute, but I would like to hear.
But I have talked to Chase. Let me tell you something interesting about Chase, not because I'm not answering your questions. I don't want to give an answer I don't know.
Yeah.
Chase, up till about a week ago, did not realize he was no longer a suspect.
Really?
Chase Venstra 1 week ago still thought they were coming after him for Dylan Rounds. He had no idea until Ty Corbin drove down there and put money on his books in the jail. He had no idea. Even when he spoke to me, he still thought they were coming after him. He had no idea his baby's mama was doing interviews. He had no idea about any of this stuff.
Okay, listen, don't put her in any kind of danger. But back to Chase. What is his main theory, Jim?
He doesn't really have one because he doesn't know a lot of what we're hearing. What he has told me are three things. For one, he had nothing to do with it. Number two, look into Kurt Wadsworth because they were in a gay relationship and they fought like husband and wife.
So he maintains that.
Number three, he'll say it unequivocally. He was the first one to ever tell me that, not Ty Corbin.
Yeah.
And number three, follow the money. It has to do with the money that was there. Now, there might have been an argument that started it, but if I wanted to rob somebody and we started it out with an argument, it doesn't mean I still didn't want their money. By the way, Detective, I have a question for you. What is it? I might be saying this wrong. What is a LiDAR plane? Not radar, LiDAR? What is that?
I'm not sure. I haven't heard that.
Okay, this is a black dog.
I thought you would be very interested in that detective.
So what I found out in the last 5 days
very
is
interesting.
that number one, a LiDAR plane, I believe is what it's called. People in the chat can figure this out.
Okay.
Yes,
LiDAR
I know
plane,
what this is.
Which was flying up and down over the desert and over the area where Dylan Rounds went missing from, his farm. Also, one of the flight plans was over Candace Cooley's property.
Yes.
So they took that plane and went over the family's property because now that supposedly is to look for the body. So that means they thought the body might be on Candace Cooley's property.
I'll give you another one they should fly it over. Try Brody Hirschberger.
The other thing that I found out recently is that, and we could always, I told you, you can have my number. My number's out there if you want to call me. But the other thing too is, from what I understand, the reason that detectives are not working with the mom for, this whole, why won't you work with me? The reason they're not doing that is because of the money. And they believe she knows something. Now, I've never thought she had anything to do with her son's disappearance or murder. But if you look at her history with finances and the guys she's been in relationships with and marriages and stuff, she's got millions of dollars worth of liens and lawsuits. That's out there.
Yeah, that's out there. Jim, I actually gave you that information. But I want to ask you.
Why this is important. Let me tell you why this is important, because it's not what hurts your feelings. It's what's important to the case.
I know. Go ahead.
There's a lot of people that think that when she came on those news things and she said, she didn't say, here's where I want you to search. She says, here I want you to search. I don't want you to search near the wash. I don't want anybody over there. If you go over here, we'll have you arrested. Why? Because there's a lot of people that believe right now that those assholes in the desert aren't looking for Dylan Rounds.
Well, listen,
They're looking
you
for
don't have to
fucking-
give me a source. You don't have to do
Well,
that. I understand
they're
protecting
looking-
sources, but do you have a legitimate source
they're
that
looking-
is linking
they're
her
looking
with
for-
the money?
They're looking for $30,000 to $50,000 buried in a coffee can. The reason they don't want people out there searching is
Well,
not
just
because they
answer
think
the
they're going to run
question.
into Dylan Rounds.
Just answer the question real quick.
Yeah.
Do you have a legitimate source that
Yes.
you don't have to
Benny.
tell me who it is?
Yep.
You do.
100%. I've been right 100% of the time. There's a lot of people, I'm telling you, the reason they don't want people searching in that area is because there's a lot of people. I don't believe that she told the truth about the money. I think there's money that Dylan Rounds had that's missing.
Well, she did his
between
books.
30 and 50
We know she did his books. Okay.
between $30,000 and $50,000 of that kid's money, I believe, is unaccounted for. I don't believe her. Now, who took it? Where is it? I don't know. Is it buried somewhere? Did they kill that kid, ransack his place, find that cash, and bury it out there until he gets out of jail? I don't know. The reason they don't want people searching in those areas is not because they don't want them messing up a crime scene. It's because they don't want anybody coming upon that cash.
Well, that's your opinion. State that, please. That is your opinion.
My
You don't
opinion,
know that,
no,
but that is your.
I'm telling you, those people told me that
Jim,
that's the reason
that's your,
that's
but
been
that
done
is
to
your
them.
opinion. You do not have concrete proof. You must state that. Come on.
I mean, for your show, I'll state it as an
Yes,
opinion.
you
but I'm
have
telling
to for not just for my show, for my channel, for yourself. When it's your opinion, it's your opinion. It could be your opinion for a myriad of reasons, from things that you know, things that you've been told, things that you have placed together, whatever. Either way, it's your opinion. Until there's concrete proof, and that's why I'm asking. And I've always demanded this from you, and you know that I've been hard on you a lot of the time. But I have to say, this is why I continue to talk to you and answer your calls and have you on, because you do actually know things. And I state this time and time again. That's just a fact.
I told you about Adventures with a Purpose, and I didn't have to say in my opinion. I mean, that guy was a kiddie fiddler. I said that months ago. You know what I mean? It's listen, I don't go public and say stuff until I'm absolutely sure in my own. Now, whether or not I'm out there and doing that, I said from the beginning that there was I thought it was 30,000. Now I'm hearing between 30 and 50,000. I can tell you now that the searchers that are out in that area are now going to start looking in the areas where the mother specifically said not to, and they're going to want to see if she presses charges. And I don't think that the reason they don't want you to look there is because of that. There's a hell of a listen. Why? If the mother is not a suspect at all, she even said they won't talk to us. They should cross us off the list. Remember, she said that in the interviews. They've never even interviewed us to eliminate us. Nope, they flew their planes over your house to see if his body was there, Candace. It is what it is. You can see the forest through the trees.
Yeah, again, are we live?
Yeah, absolutely.
No, there's nobody listening. There's
Okay.
nobody.
There's a couple things I'm going to have to be getting going, but I want you to listen for a minute because
Yes,
you
sir.
can look some things up. Brody Harshberger has a place in Idaho that's like a 4-hour straight line shot from the back from Lucin. It is an island in the middle of an area. You would find trees all around, a big home, lots of farming equipment. I still want to know because there's two people that Kurt Venstra protects in all of our discussions. One is Ed Harshberger, and the other one is Jim Brenner. Okay? He always protects those two people to the
Who does? Chase?
Kurt.
Oh, Kurt. Well, I could give you the answer to that. You want the answer to that? I spoke with families who had young boys that worked on those farms with the men that you're talking about, and they were all used and either sexually assaulted or people made moves on them.
Jim,
Dylan
did you
Rounds-
talk to them? Did you talk to them?
Yes. I'll give you the names.
Okay, and the
Proof.
reason I'm asking you this, people can say what you want, but Kurt said himself to me, okay, and I do believe the detective was on the phone during this phone call. It was off the air. He laughed about Dylan assaulting a worker.
At his benefit.
At his benefit, he enjoyed this. It sounded sadistic.
He said Dylan assaulted a Hispanic kid?
That's what he said.
He said he used the words. Here's what he said.
Okay. Go
And he
ahead.
changed it on air. When he went on air, he made some other reference to it. What he said to us was, boy, he really abused that kid.
And he laughed.
Then when he went on air, what he said was, well, he made him do the work that Dylan didn't want to do. But the way he talked about it originally was very different. Now, the reason, again, I talk about Harshberger, that Brody Harshberger, I doubt has anything to do, but he's very financially well off, it looks like. But he has that property, and Ed has been associated with it. That was a holiday weekend. Is it possible Brody was away and Ed was there? You wouldn't see.
And let's give a little context here. Ed Harshberger, everyone close that we've talked to in this case, they do not want to talk about him. He's very protected. They shut up. They complete. Oh no, not him.
He's one of the few people I've never talked to, Jess. One of the few. One of the two.
Well, that should tell you something. The detective has looked into a lot of things about that. And
so here's the
Brody,
other thing.
the son.
Yeah, well, here's what I want to leave with you, because do you know, this is a good question for you, a fun question. What is Iverson's first name?
Allen Iverson. He was a point guard for the 76ers. He's a real good
No.
Shut up, Jim.
Iverson. I meant Iverson. What's the first name of Iverson?
Is it? And I don't know this, but I'm gonna say Daniel.
It's an alias.
So it's
His
like
real name,
James.
It's David Dan Iverson.
Interesting. So he switched the middle and the last name.
Well, he
Well,
switched
maybe
that,
there's
and
another-
he
another
also,
first
Jim, the power of social media, and I've talked to the detective about this quite a bit. In true crime cases, what we see a lot of is when a person knows something or is very closely connected, they will delete their social media. You'll see a lot of creators that will screenshot very early because we already know this is going to happen. Dan Iverson is one of the people that did that. He completely shut down his entire Facebook. I have tons of screenshots that I've just kept.
Well, the interesting thing here, Jess,
And I have spoke to him very briefly.
And I'll shut up after this and let the detective finish. But let me tell you the difference between what the detective's doing and what I do. And hopefully this lends some clarity to what the real deal is and what a ham and egger is. I consider myself a ham and egger. Okay, the detectives and the cops are the best in the world at what they do. I've never made any bones about that. Okay, the difference is the guys that play in the NBA next to guys that play pickup basketball in the park. But every once in a while, the guy in the park can hit a shot. And here's the deal: I don't look at what I don't know. I look at what I do know. And here's what I see when I'm out there, and you tell me if any of this is wrong. A bunch of older men and younger boys. But just go ahead and give me the 135 or 40-year-old that wasn't, and Chase Venstra's not part of this because he wasn't working on the farm. Tell me one person on that farm that wasn't either a 60-year-old farmer or a teenager. You can't do it. Number two, where's the women? Where's all the women in this town?
Well, we have to be realistic here. I do have to play devil's advocate. I do have to play devil's advocate and say that farm work is typically more male-based. It
I'm not
is.
talking about farmers. No.
No, it is.
I'm not saying that there had to be hot chicks plowing fields.
Yeah.
Where are all the women in that town? Where are the bartenders? There's a bar that's a casino there. There's not one female bartender.
Ellen.
Or not one woman except for Kurt's daughter.
Ellen.
Ellen Berg. Okay, if you consider that a woman.
Jim, I swear, out of all the ridiculous shenanigans that you people have turned this case into, the best thing I ever heard was Ellen Berg tell you that she was going to sleep with you and then murder you after on a live stream.
And that's not the first. That happened to me. That happens to me 3 times a stream. Here's the deal. Listen, where are all the women in that town and around where you have farmers, where you have money, where you have men?
No, Jim, back to that just for a second. I'm sorry I have to interrupt
No
you.
women in that
I'm
town.
sorry, but I actually had women email me and say that they felt, and these are not women that are anything like Ellen, but that they felt that Ellen was their spirit animal in that moment. So you take that however you want, but anyway,
Yeah.
back to the case at hand.
Okay, there's no women in it. Where there's money and where there's men, there's women. I've played on every football team in every garbage town you could possibly imagine, from Monroe, Louisiana to Casper, Wyoming. Where there's arena football players, there's women, there's alcohol, there's drugs, there's gambling. There's gambling in that town. There's tons of drugs. There's no women. Why are there no women and tons of teenage boys? No girlfriend that lived there. No wife that was there. No women in that town at all. And your biggest thing is Ellen Bird. I'm going to tell you why. Those young
It's not my biggest thing. I'm just pointing out the obvious.
Those young teen boys were the cannon fodder for those older men. And they used Dylan Rounds as their bait to bring in these fucking kids. And when those kids came in, he let them go on that farm with those older men, and that's why they've all scattered. And I was the one that blew a hole in it.
At the end of this rant, you're going to have to say that's in your opinion.
I'm going to say, prove me wrong.
Well, I don't know if that's the right answer, Jim.
He can sue me.
Jim, I need to get going, so I have a few more things. I'm giving you a couple tidbits, but I would prefer in Blair there where they just look behind the scenes yourself and see. Can you tell me in this group of people we're talking about who's the licensed pilot?
No, I have no idea. Who is it?
There's two of them.
Well, Dan Iverson is.
Kurt Wadsworth supposedly is. He has a couple of Cessnas or something.
No, there's a man named Ivo, and there is Dan Iverson, and there is a airport strip there.
Okay, right. That's interesting. The Kurt Wadsworth also owns two little planes. He's talked about them. They're in a storage unit. I've seen them, but I think those are more like hang gliders, maybe, or something.
Yeah.
So what's interesting about them being pilots?
Well, it's the back of the property. There is where the airport is there in Lucin.
Well, they're not flying commercial. So
I'll put it to you this way, Jim. Have they found Dylan?
No.
Okay. So.
Let me ask you another question, whether it's been on air or not.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Who has the horse?
Kurt Wadsworth's daughter.
Right. Well, it was originally Kurt. Yeah. Well, she has the dog.
That. I offered him $1,000, and I was going to ship that horse. My sister's a vet. She knows equine vets in the Southeast, and they would not sell it to me.
Because you want to check the back, don't you?
Check the back of the horse?
Yeah.
What do you mean? No, why? What's check the back?
Holy Christ. Well, did we just go in the gutter? We just went in the gutter. Okay, go ahead. Go.
Well, I'm just saying that...
We are on air, fellas. I'm just saying.
Okay.
The reason I wanted the horse is I had a lady, and she's out of Canada. I was going to bring the horse. I was going to pay to have a horse transport, which was not cheap. I was going to get it fixed up. It was bit on the face by a rattlesnake. And I had a lady who did psychic readings to animals, and we think a horse may know what happened. I would do that at the show.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I just know that they had talked at great length about the horse, and that Jim Brenner had led the horse to the back of the property.
Yep.
And he went one way and the horse went another, and all of a sudden the horse shows up with Kurt Wadsworth. So that to me was highly interesting.
Well, you're on the same path I am, and before I let you go, I'll tell you what the most interesting thing. I believe the horse is the one that killed the kid.
Jesus Christ. Jim, you know what? I will send you a picture of my hands for the Christmas ball. Okay.
The horse is also a licensed pilot.
Jim.
I don't know if you know this.
Okay.
Detective, did I not tell you that Jim took a funny pill this morning? He called me early this morning before noon, and he was just ridiculously funny. And I was like, excuse me, like, when did you become funny? Did you take a funny pill today? Like, what is going on with you? He's been like this all day. I don't know. I mean, Jim, can you call Robbie, please? Can you figure it out?
Robbie, you need to call me. All right, Detective, thank you so much. If you want to get a hold of Chase Venstra on the inside, you give me a call and I'll put you on there and I will shut up and let you talk to him.
I want to be in that call.
Yeah.
Please.
Set it up and do it.
Okay.
No, you set it up and let me know. Because I'll mute, but I just want to hear. I'll release nothing, or if you allow whatever.
Yeah, I prefer.
But I would just like to hear him. Yep.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your time, Jim. Take care.
Bye, Detective. Jim. Okay. So everyone's off now. I definitely would be very interested in that. I've wanted to listen to. I need to hear people. When you listen to people, you hear how they speak, the context in which they speak, their dichotomy, all of it. I've wanted to hear Chase Ventra's voice for a long time, and I've heard Brenner. I've heard people. I've heard Kurt. I've heard people related. But Chase always interests me because of what he said happened. He was definitely on meth. He admits to that, saying that Tom Hardy got him effed up. He tells the mother of his youngest child that in a text message. And, on the 25th of May, somehow, you guys, this was supposed to be a chat about fellow creators who are live streaming Jared. We're back on Dylan. I'm sorry. This is just a case that is, I don't know. It's something that haunts me. So if you're still here and this isn't the case that haunts you, thank you for staying. But for some reason, this case just haunts me. There's so many things wrong. Mal, JT and Robbie are like two peas in a pod. What? No, they're so different. They really are. Grandma, I love you too. I love you too. You know what? Grandma puts up with so much, you guys. She puts up with so much bullshit for this channel. She really does. And she loves me. Even when Jim's on, even when she's still here. She comments, she does her thing. But I love her. I know Grandma on a more personal level. And her opinion, I value her opinion. And there's a reason why. Because if you're a person that was sheltered your whole life, good. Because I wish I was sheltered my whole life, but I wasn't. So I was exposed to a lot of things. Grandma has been exposed to a lot of things, and that's kind of how you become wise to a lot of bad things, because you either experience them or know someone who did, and that's how we kind of get here. So when you get to a certain stage in life, you just look at certain people and you're like, you're a bullshitter, or I don't believe a damn thing you're saying. And that's pretty much how Grandma feels about Jim, how I think she does. She can speak for herself. She's very capable, but that's how I think she does. And I understand it. I do, because Jim can absolutely come across that way. But I do try to, as long as Jim is behaved on the channel, and he does give tidbits of information or insight into things that we all don't know about. So Grandma, I love you. Yeah, I do. And no, you don't lie. You just don't. You're very real. But I want to try to sift through Jim, what Jim has done on other channels, as opposed to how he behaves on mine, and the things that we talk about, and the information that he actually gives. Because there is information there. I think the detective, I've known him for months at this point. I think he was very reserved. He does not do YouTube or things like that. So that was definitely new for him, but um, he's had quite a few questions about quite a few things, and we have gone over, so many different interviews that have been done off the air about Dylan, so many different things, and it's a very complex, convoluted case. I'll just say from the very beginning that what was being told about Dylan Rounds and his case just simply, they were half truths. You can look at half truths like, well, that's partially true, or you can look at half truths like it's just a lie, because if it's not the truth, then it's just a lie. You can look at it nuance or black and gray, or gray, I meant, and yeah. So, Tina, I'm sorry, did I miss what Tina had to say? Tina Brown. Dylan was my first YouTube. Oh, okay. Yes, I would like to read that comment. Dylan was my first YouTube true crime case. I didn't even know this stuff existed until him. Wow. Okay. Um, you know what? I have to be honest here, especially in light of what happened today and what the stream really should have been about. Was more of an awareness and a WTF at the same time. To my fellow creators, like, you cannot live stream court proceedings, okay? But Dylan Rounds, I look at this case and I was so involved behind the scenes with a lot of different things and people and avenues, and it just breaks my heart because from top to bottom, and when I say top to bottom, I mean exactly that the truth just has not been told about him. There are truths that are hidden. There are truths that will not be spoken about or unknown to some people. The people that it is known to, I will probably definitely count myself as one of them, about some of the truths of this case that have not been told. And, from the beginning, I don't know why, I just felt like one day I'm going to do a documentary, and I'm going to spend weeks and weeks and weeks just editing and making it true. Dylan's story, his life, the truth, not half truths, not pretty painted pictures with, dead flowers in the background that somebody puts a bow on. Just the truth. And I don't know. I guess people will react to that the way that they want to. But I just, in my personal opinion, Dylan from the beginning has been a sad story. It's just, he is a lovable, tragic person. That very, very well likely met a undeserved tragic ending. And it's sort of surreal. It's just sort of surreal. It almost sounds like a movie or something crazy. But this was someone's actual life. This was a real person. And it's just sort of surreal what this young man went through, experienced, and what we don't know, the ending, unequivocally. We can surmise. But it's just tragic all the way around. Grandma, Dylan is like our sons, Yes, that's I feel very much that statement. Like, he's 19. I have an 18-year-old son. So it's right there. Like, I understand this. Like, oh my God, if this happens, I will just not ever be okay. And, just knowing all of the things, like things that are rumored, things that are kind of seem very true because of multiple sources, um just a lot of different things, that you get this picture of his life, and it just seems sad, with bursts and sparkles of happiness between the sads. I don't know. I feel like every live stream, like somehow we get back to Dylan. This case is just never gonna not haunt me, and I just know it. But I do feel like we're gonna see a resolution one day. Tamara, Tina Dillon's case really took jazz to a whole other planet. Yeah, it really did. It just really did. I don't know. Um, it did. Especially when you see things so up close and personal. I feel like I was like a quote unquote behind the scenes, but it really was like that, and it's still like that. And it's just, I definitely have my opinions of things. And I don't always want to share those opinions, because I know that everybody doesn't know a lot of the backgrounds. They know some, but they definitely don't know the really, really dark parts of some things. And if you do, it changes your perspective on certain things. So with Dylan, like I said, I just see him as a tragic person, a human that was very real. And have you ever known someone that was just always given the heel of the bread? Like, they always were given the heel. That to me, that was Dylan. And I don't think that a lot of people will agree with that. But the things that I know, yeah, I really think that Dylan was just always given the heel. And that was good enough. But it wasn't at all. We call it crumbs. Yes. Yes. Um, you just really gotta, if you've had a teenager, especially if you've had a teenage son, um, you have an idea. So just picture that your teenage son, or just teenage child, period, at 16, 17, 18, 19, um, being in a completely different state, in literally the middle of the desert, with like 15 at max other people in a vicinity of them. Um, it very much, and it always has felt this way to me, like a shunning, like you go here, and we're happy with you here, and we'll like love you from afar. That's just my opinion. I think other people will probably feel differently, but that's just how I feel. Um, there, I'm gonna say that there was definitely something different about Dylan. I think it was, again, you're just talking about putting teenager a teenager, especially a male, and I say especially a male, not to put down males, but it's just scientifically proven that males grow at a slower pace than females. So you put a 16-year-old female out there, you're still asking for a ton of trouble. But she might make more mature decisions. But a 16-year-old male, you're just asking for something. And I don't know if, you put a 16-year-old male out in the middle of the desert to grow crop with a very tiny population to keep him away from people, maybe. So that there's very limited people that he interacts with, but then you don't really account for the town of Montello that is not far from there, that has like a couple bars, and that's, people can socialize there. So it just, I don't know. I've always thought about that with Dylan, like, just why? My son is 18 at this point, and I still would not, be like, hey, I think it's a good idea if you just like move to the mountains of West Virginia by yourself. Like now, I'm gonna put you out there, buy land for you. Um, that's just a terrible idea to me. So I don't know. I mean, I just look at that part alone, and I'm like, what was going on here? Like something was wrong. There was discord. There was some type of thing that was wrong. Justin and his parents not agreeing on what Dylan should be doing. I'm not sure where Candace is in that. Um, but but at the end of it, we have a young, well, we'll say middle teenage child in the middle of the desert in a tiny little camper farming, but he's farming for the bigger ranches around him, really. um what we know now, thus far, is that for this year that Dylan was allegedly cropping. He was seeding Friday, the day before he was reported missing. But there's never been any crop. We've had YouTubers go out there, different ones. They've filmed. There is no crop. So I don't know if it just didn't take. I don't know what happened to it. But if that's what he was doing, there's nothing there. Grandma, it is a fact, and that town is full of all rope guys. Not enough help from him, supervision, mentoring. Yeah, well, I don't want to beat up on Mormonism. I feel like people might think that I beat up on Mormonism a little bit, but it's just that the cases that we're looking at happen to be out in this area, and Mormonism is really huge. So you have to understand that hierarchy of the men are looked at as the top dog under God, and then the women are under them. You're under me. There's a hierarchy here. The children under the women, even lower, bottom totem pole. Whereas, like a society, I guess, like we all most likely live in, where we kind of place our children up. Those are the most protected. Those are the most loved, and nurtured, and things like that. But not so much, I think, with this religion. The children are needed, because again, in the Mormon religion, the ultimate thing is to become exalted, which means become your own God. And the first step in that is marriage. You gotta marry, and then you must have children. This is how you become an exalted God for a man. So you want to look into an interesting topic. Look at Mormonism, look at the beliefs and the different things, and it's a wow factor, and you see why these states are being the way they're being. So we're gonna have Kimberly Swift. Okay. Oh, sorry. Hello.
Yes, so I'm watching your YouTube channel right now, and I wanted to join the conversation.
Oh, okay. What's up?
Yeah. So do you, what type of, support do you help, with people's channels? Because I'm trying to grow my channel.
Kind of
Do you
support?
do anything with that?
What do you mean?
Do you, help people, grow their YouTube channel, for, their business?
I just really talk about true crime or kind of whatever I want.
Okay.
Yeah. What's the name of your channel?
Nicholas Swint?
Okay. So what are you covering? Like true crime?
Not exactly. It's very kind of different than that. So I guess mine would be entertainment, pretty much.
I gotta continue to slide. It's the wood for it.
Who's in our basement?
Who's in our basement?
I don't know. I'm freaking sitting there in my bed.
Hold on. Hang on, just for a second, okay? My son is speaking to me. You can go ahead and keep talking, but I'm gonna have to
Okay.
mute. Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, go ahead, Austin.
I don't know. I was kind of
All right,
scared.
wait. What are we talking about here? Hold on. Okay. You guys, for the love of little tiny baby Jesus. Okay. Jace, go ahead, Jace. Say something. Say something, Jace. What happened, son?
I was messing with my brother and knocking, and I was trying to scare him.
Shut that door, please.
And I was trying to scare him. It was the funniest thing ever.
So my 11-year-old thought it would be hilarious to dodge around our basement and scare the shit out of my 18-year-old who came up here and said, Mom, there is someone in our basement. And I'm like, what? Who is in our basement? So yeah, I go down there and I find my 11-year-old. So now my 18-year-old he's pissed off. He's humiliated. Jace, my 11-year-old, feels like he's accomplished something, that he has scared his brother, and that makes him feel good. I don't know. Jace, do you want to say something? Stop dancing and say something. Like, you're dancing, I see how you feel, but can you verbalize it?
They don't call me the Joker for no reason.
Okay. They
And
don't
that's
call me the
revenge for
Joker
him.
for no
From
reason.
him.
Huh?
I got revenge.
For revenge for what?
He be scaring me sometimes. Like sometimes I be walking in my room, he's behind the door. Like
Oh, he jumps out.
yeah, like
Does he?
sometimes I'll be following him and then I'll lose him and then he'll just be like by a door.
Oh, so you really got him. You scared him so bad he actually came up here and got his mommy at 18 years old.
Could never.
Oh, Austin. I don't know how he's gonna live that down, but poor child. Either way, Jace, I'm gonna have to give you like a star for this one because you really did get your older brother. You really do take the crown. Good job. I love you. Get out of my live stream and I'll see you in a little bit.
Bye-bye.
Yes. Bye. I love you, babe. Yes, that is what was going on. So there you go. That's what happened. I think my 18-year-old, he is not going to forgive this for a minute because he's very smart. And so for Jace to outwit him and get him so stirred up that he came up here to get me, like to come save him. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he came up here and was like, Mom, there is somebody in the basement. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, there's somebody in the basement. Who?
I don't blame him.
Yeah, I was like, who? Like, who's it? What do you mean? Like, there's somebody in the basement? Like, it's just kind of like, how did somebody get in our basement? Like, they would have to come through our back door, our front door. We have a fenced in yard. So, you know, like, just how is somebody, who's in the basement? You know what I mean? So, for him not to figure out that it was Jace, his little 11-year-old brother, like, messing around with him, then again, I am glad that he came and got me, you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm like that too. Like if I hear like certain things, like I'm usually the first one. Like, okay, let me go get my baseball bat. Like I don't know if I'm in danger or something like that. Like I don't blame him.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm the same way. You know what? I have a BB gun that it looks like a real gun. Like, I'll probably die over this with contact with some police officer one day. Like, cross your fingers that doesn't happen. And people replay this video a million times. It doesn't do anything. But I have a BB gun that looks like a real gun. But like if I go to like a sound that don't sound right or something, I always take that with me. Like it is automatic, which I love that. It's not going to kill anybody, but it'll definitely wound you or, you know, scare you off. But the only thing is, if that other person's armed with a real gun,
Right.
they're going to shoot back. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So this is why they say, you know, once you bring a gun into it, you know, your chances of getting shot just elevate through the roof.
Yeah.
Hang on just a second. Yes, sir.
When are you going grocery shopping?
Probably later on. Okay. Listen. All right. Thank you. Here's my child. Mom, when are you going grocery shopping? So yeah, I'm just the mom, dude. Like,
I hear it because I'm like that with my mom. Like I'm like, hey mom, who's making dinner? Or when are you going grocery shopping? And she's looking at me like I'm crazy because like boy, you're 26. Like get up.
Yeah, like cook
that's
something.
Yeah.
Make us dinner. What are you talking about? Like, we've been doing this your whole life. Shit. You got 30 years of free service and love. Like, can you just do something back? Grilled cheese, tomato soup, it's easy. Like, surely you've watched me all these years cook yourself something. Like, cook me something. You know?
Yeah. Now I see why being a parent is much harder than from a child's perspective. Because I'm at the child perspective where I'm like, well, yeah, I know I'm a young adult, but sometimes I depend on my parents still, to say, hey,
How
Dad,
old are
I
you?
need you. I'm 26 actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you did say that. My bad.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I'm still living with my parents, so
Okay.
yeah.
Do you that's just how you feel comfortable, or you're just,
Well, as of now, I have like a learning disability,
okay.
some learning challenges along the way. So, like, if you hear me talk, like that's why I stutter sometimes, or I have like intellectual languages sometimes, like with my speech.
Mhm.
So, I'm still working on that, but
You
I'm
sound fine to me. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
well, thank you.
Like,
Yeah, I
you're
think
just talking like a completely, like, just, I don't know, just like a regular person. I don't know, whatever that
yeah,
is.
yeah,
You know what? I've always said, like, what is normal? Like, normal just doesn't really exist. People in their minds make it exist. But the only, and I say this all the time, this I say all the time, the only normal people in whatever capacity you want to take normal in, the only people that you'll ever know that are normal are people that you do not know well.
yeah,
Because when you get to know people, everybody has so many different things with them. Just different kinks, different maybe disabilities, maybe mental illness, maybe just different things, dude. Like, we try to put people in these boxes. I think we just got to throw the boxes out, because there
yeah.
really isn't any boxes, man. There's
Yeah,
just
like with me, I was in like special ed classes like growing up in school and stuff like that, and I didn't let that affect me. Like I still, played sports growing up. I played football, basketball, anything you could think of. Went out and hang out with friends. Like I didn't let that, stop me. And I still had like a lot of support growing up, and that was a blessing. Just having like a good support system, family, friends. That's all that matters.
yeah. I hear you. I definitely hear you. Family support is everything, and when people lose that, it's so devastating.
Right.
You know, like, I watched that with somebody really close to me,
Yeah.
like, that their family just completely, and it really isn't this person's fault. Like, I'm not blinded to this person at all. There's no rose colored glasses on. I just see it like as it is.
Right.
And it's so crazy to me to watch these people. It's almost like watching sheep, because, like, one does it, then the next one, the next one, the next one, and the next thing you know, they're like chickens pecking at a wounded chicken. Like, if you have chickens in a pen, I don't know if you know this, you have a bunch of chickens. If a chicken gets like a wound somehow, the other
Yeah.
chickens will come and they will start to peck at that wound. They will
Oh wow.
continue to peck until the chicken dies. Yeah, they do that. Like, recently, I have watched this happen to a person that I know very well, and it's just kind of been surreal to watch, and how people behave, and I feel really, really bad for them, because they really don't deserve that. If they did, they did, but they just don't, and it's just kind of, yeah, it's like the sheep, chicken, more chicken pecking mentality. Let's attack, attack, attack. That's why, even with the title of this stream, fellow creators who are live streaming, Jared, Leisek, yada yada, please don't do this. Whatever I said, I really did intend for this to be like, guys, please stop. Don't do this. You're,
Yeah.
you know, not a, oh my God, did you see what Justice for All did? He's a terrible person. Like, he's a horrible human, dude. No. Like, I really had to, this guy, I don't think he knew. However, he didn't know. He just didn't know, man. I guess he didn't read it. I don't know. But either way, I just don't believe he knew. So it just wasn't an attack. It was just more like, dude, I don't want to see you get yourself in trouble, get your channel taken down. Yeah, you built up something here. Don't ruin it with this. And I did try to warn the chat, and whether he read it or not, I have no idea.
Because some people don't read the comments,
Yeah, and like I haven't been reading the comments in a while. Just being honest, I've just been talking, chatting to you.
Yeah.
So, but I just.
But I do when I'm on my live stream, like I talk to people and I let people in, like even if I don't know them, kind of like how you did with me. You took your chance on me and you're talking to me, and now you're seeing that I'm kind-hearted and very what's the word I'm looking for?
Level-headed.
Impression, So that's all that matters is making good first impressions,
Yeah, you seem to be very level-headed to me.
Yeah, I get that a lot. Like I'm usually like my type of personality is very laid back.
Yeah.
Like I usually go out my way to help others. And this is where like my parents are usually concerned about, because they don't want people to take advantage of me, because they know like I'm such like a nice person. I'll do anything for anybody. But
yeah, you do have to have boundaries sometimes. Being nice and being walked on are two different things.
Right.
You're nice to people that deserve that. That you don't want anything really from you, but you want to gift them something. You want to be kind to them in some way, but you don't need to do that excessively or all of the time. It's like my best friend. Sometimes on her birthday, I'll send her a special gift because I love her, because I know her, because I care about her, because I want her to know that. I don't do that with a lot of people.
Right.
It's just, yeah, yeah. Don't let people take advantage of your kindness, and also guard that. That's your responsibility as well to not do that. But it's not to say, oh, be a cruel person. No, no, not at all. Please be kind in the world. We need way more of it. But just be, I guess, a little more street smart. I think that would be my advice to people.
Yeah, and the reason why like my parents are like so like they're so supportive and they look out for me a lot, like because at a young age I came out the closet. Like I came out like when I was like 16, 17. Like I was already in high school when I came out.
Hey, will you hang on a second? Someone's calling in. If you'll just hang on a second.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Hello? Hello? Okay. Sorry, nobody said anything. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so I was as I was saying, when I was in high school, I came out the closet as openly gay, and I've received like a lot of hate, but a lot of support. And my parents, like from day one, like they showed me conditional love, as always, and same with my other family members and friends. But then down the line, like I would receive like hate comments like from friends like that are not really true friends. Like they'd be like, how could you live that lifestyle? Like you don't, you deserve to have us like in your life. Like, and it was like so.
It's a very weird perspective, but
yeah, I was like at a dark place, you know, at that time, like where, you know, I just wanted to give up, you know, like on life, and then just like saying like, what is there to give, you know? But then I found, you know, other true friends and family members that supported me and loved me for who I am, and now I'm head over heels, you know. I'm keeping my head up, you know, every
I'm
day,
very happy to hear that.
sunny day.
That's the thing. I think I said this a long while back, but I was like, if you concern yourself with the world's problems, you become them. And I find that to be very true. I think every individual person has their own beliefs or their own thoughts, their own perspectives, their own shaping of how they grew up and how they view the world and yada, yada, yada. You can have them, but you can't impose them on others. And you cannot take away from what others believe if they're different from you. And it's really just that simple. So, yeah, sometimes, when two people get too fanatical about their views or beliefs or whatever sometimes you kind of have to step away from those people. Um, love them from afar, like them from afar, whatever. But sometimes that happens, unfortunately. People get just too caught up in things that are, it becomes abnormal. It starts hurting people for no real reason, and they're hurting themselves in a weird way, and so I hate when that happens. But that's why I think education is really the most important thing, like in a country. Like economics, money, definitely important. You need money to run a country, but you need education. If the people are better educated, well, different cultures, different things, yada yada yada, the more culture, the more educated, the less likely to be judgmental, the less likely to involve themselves in tribalism, the less likely to get involved in very extreme believed groups that do terrible things. So, education, you look at the United States, we're supposed to be a leading country in this world, but our education system is always down the line. I don't even know if we're in top 5. I don't believe we are. And that's kind of crazy. Militarily, we are. Education, no. So it's just kind of like our people are not educated, but we have all these weapons and we have nukes and stuff, and we'll just kill you. So don't come here. But I would prefer a more educated people, because I feel like we would have a lot less fighting. I feel like we would have a lot more unity if people were on a similar education level, similar understanding, because this country is so diverse. It's insanely diverse.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. Like you hit that right off the bat. Like when I like even
We're having an incoming caller. If you would just hold on a minute, I'll merge the call.
Yeah.
Okay. Hang on.
Yeah.
Oh. You guys there? Diane?
Yeah.
Hello?
Hi.
That's all right. Is John there?
Who?
John. I had the wrong number. I'm sorry.
You there is no Don here. No.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bother you.
That's
Thank you.
uh-huh. Okay. Well, that was the weirdest damn call-in ever, but there you have it. Anyway, back to our subject.
Yeah.
Please continue.
Yeah, so like you hit that right off the spot, you know, like the country is like diverse, you know, and we're supposed to be living in a country that's full of love and unity. Like, you know, we shouldn't have to worry about, you know, if there's gonna be like a mass shooting the next day, you know, because like Like, there was 2 shootings last week, one in Colorado and another one at a Walmart. So it's like we're living on the last day. We can't like live like that. We're supposed to be living in a safe way, and
I just always assumed that we would be more like intellectually evolved than that. But
right,
mankind, just in general, humankind, I should say, really, just has this bloodlust. You know, we just do. We still do war. We still there's lots of murders and killings, and death is so final. Like I can't imagine like knowingly, willingly taking any other human being's life.
right,
um it's completely final, and the people that love them or that depend on them, you have just altered so many people's lives in so
right.
many ways that is none of it is good. And it's just I don't know. I mean, I guess there's a fascination with me with true crime on why people do what they do. Why do
Yeah,
you do this? Like Richard Allen with the Delphi case. Why?
yeah. I scratch my head on that too. Like it just doesn't make sense. Like,
Yeah, and then
yeah,
to find out that he took his daughter, I think on the 1 year anniversary of their death, with a Find Abby and Libby shirt, or a Justice for Abby or Libby shirt, something of that nature, and took a picture of her on that bridge.
that,
That's absolutely a trophy. It is.
yeah, that's something.
And using your own child. There's something about these sorts of people that are truly dead inside, or just they don't exist.
Yeah,
Because yeah.
like even like if you listen to hip hop, like even the Tupac or Biggie murders, right? Like I just wonder like how come those weren't solved? And these were like murders from like 20 years ago. You know, like how come nobody did nothing or came forward? Like, you know, that's what I always scratch my head on.
Well, I think like with Biggie, um, I think that was gang involvement. Um, with Tupac, same. um, People that grew up in a culture like that. And again, this goes back to what we were talking about, the diversity of this country. Depending on where you grew up, you might have grew up on some isolate farm in Iowa, where your only contact was like some farm hands, your parents and your siblings, and
Right.
like maybe you went to town like a couple times a week or something. You know what I mean? As
Yeah.
opposed to a city kid that grew up, in Compton, LA, these really hotspot areas for drug or for gang affiliation. You're talking about completely different upbringings, childhoods,
Yeah.
experiences. So a code back then that they went by was silence. You don't say that. You don't, even if you don't talk about it. And
Yeah.
I think that code was upheld. I mean, these murders of those two icons were so big that you knew whoever was talking, you're going away for life. And to this day, we listen to Biggie and Tupac. I just seen, matter of fact, I don't know, it was about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, something like that. But I seen this article. I was like looking through my Google feed of just different articles on the world, and I saw Biggie makes a return, and they're like revamping something about Biggie. I didn't actually read the article, I'll be honest, but to say he's returning, he's been dead for so long, but
Yeah.
he's still revamped, he's still brought back. Like, you did something in the world for people to still be interested. I'm interested. I want to hear what they're gonna do with his music.
Yeah, I know Diddy, or yeah, I think Diddy holds most of his music, or um, Biggie's estate like holds most of his music. Like when Michael Jackson died, like I think the Jackson family like had copies of his music. Like they had like most of his stuff. Like
Yeah, but
his estate.
who owned? Did Michael Jackson own the Beatles stuff, or did the Beatles own Michael Jackson stuff? It was like one of something like that.
Was vice versa. I think Michael Jackson owned like the Beatles.
He owned the Beatles stuff. Okay, I didn't know which one. It was something, but yeah, which is crazy. I mean, owning the stuff to the Beatles, like holy Christ, dude.
Yeah, that's big.
That's huge. Like any type of royalties. Like, I mean, there's so much merchandise in the world of that group. There's a huge platform for that group. Huge.
Oh yeah.
To this day. So it's just kind of crazy. I mean, and you own the rights to their music. You own their music. Actually, I mean, that's just insane money, really.
Yeah,
Um,
but he was like so rich because like I think Michael Jackson's estimated net worth when at the time of his death was like 5.8 billion or something, or 5.8 million, which is a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
Well,
Like
there's a distinction between the billion and million, though. So I don't know which one it was. I mean, I know he's very well off, obviously.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's million. I could be going crazy with the billion, but I'm pretty sure it's million.
Well, even so, I mean, just his estate alone. I mean, it's just it's enough to that has taken care of his entire family, his children. They're they're fine. They can live basically how they want. So it's just kind of, but I don't know, like the accusations against him were so strong in evidence when you really looked at it, the totality of them all and their stories and the matchings of different things, and it was just really it was really telling. For a long time, like I just refused to listen to Michael Jackson. I was like, I'm not listening to him, dude. Like I already know. Like I just don't even want to listen to him. Every now and again, I will listen to a Michael Jackson song, but it's like I don't know. I mean, I always go back to Wesley Allen Dodd just saying, "Believe them." Well, he was asked. I always tell this, but it's so poignant. This man molested so many children, and did kill. He became a child killer. And he was asked, he was being put to death. He agreed to an interview. I think it was just like a month or two, not long before he was put to death. Did an interview, and they asked him, like, what can we do to protect kids against people like you? And he only had 2 words, and I think people should just please take freaking note of that. His 2 words were, believe them. Believe them.
right.
Like, how many kids have to tell you that things were not right at the ranch? Things were not kosher. They were weird. There's
Yeah.
multiple accounts of this. Like,
I even thought that like what was it? Was it? It must have almost been like he was holding like a cold, almost.
I mean, I think he was more using his money, using his status, and going after what he desired and hiding behind those things, because he was kind of grooming the families, really, bringing them on these extravagant trips to Disney World, and giving the mothers jewelry, and just doing more or less like kind of buying the families, and the prize was the child. That's what he ultimately was after. And because they trusted him, and he's paying for everything, he's so nice, he's doing all of these things, their guard was down. And the thing about Michael Jackson is that it wasn't just one or two people. It was like 5 or 6 different people, different kids. Their times with him have been accounted for. Uh, there's just been some really things that I feel like the world it's there. It's there for people to see, and some people choose to say, "Okay, yes, I see that this is what it was," and other people are like, "Nope, I still love Thriller." And so I'm just gonna ignore that because I really like how he sings, And here's where we can compartmentalize that. Yes, this person made great music. That is true. What is also simultaneously, probably, most likely, highly likely true is that he was a pedophile. Okay, and that's the bad news. But people,
You could just see like all the weird stuff that he did, like in the paparazzi's eyes. Like, what did he do? Like, didn't he drink like one of his kids over a balcony? Like, that let you
yeah.
know. That let you know, like, what was happening behind closed doors.
You know what? I was younger. I was definitely younger when that happened. I remember like seeing it on the supermarket, like papers and stuff of him like hanging his baby over the thing. And I remember being in line with my aunt, she had to like do all the food and all the stuff. So I would like grab the magazines, like flip through them, read through them and stuff. And like reading that he had like dangled his baby over, and there's all these pictures. And like now you can watch that on YouTube and watch it in different ways. And I think it was shown on air actually. But yeah, even back then, I was just kind of like, what the hell?
Yeah,
Why?
like that there forever. And now their kids, which are a lot older, they're probably like my age, like 26 and 25. Now they're gonna go on the web and now they're gonna be looking at old photos of that type of behavior that their dad, did when they were younger. That.
Yes, it's very strange. I mean, you might bring your baby out on the balcony on your hip and wave to people and then go back inside, right? But very few people, I think, are going to put a blanket over their child's head and dangle them over the balcony. I mean, just it's such high risk behavior and just extreme over the top behavior, and it's just kind of like, again, why?
Yeah.
Why are you doing that? It doesn't make sense, and it's definitely out of the norm. Anyone that says it doesn't, well, I'm gonna have to just question what your norm is, because I don't think that's it. So, but yeah, I think there's things that people don't want to talk about for different reasons. Um, I've seen people side with white offenders because they're white, or black offenders because they're black. And I understand it because of tribalism. It's very real in this country. But from a logical standpoint, I don't understand it because it doesn't make sense. If somebody's committed a crime, then they just have. We can look at all the backgrounds and maybe why this led up to things. We can theorize and speculate and yada yada yada.
I was just gonna ask you something that in that topic. Like, remember last year, around this time last year, there was this girl and her boyfriend, Gabby Petito.
Yeah.
So they I think one of them they were from like Florida or something, or both of them are from Florida, and they took like a long cross country road trip to like Utah or Colorado, somewhere like in the mountain ranges, and so we already know what he did because the family still didn't his family, Brian Laundrie, they still didn't come clean. I don't think, like, because it seemed like they were aiding and abetting, but
They were,
yeah,
in my opinion.
and I still question myself because there was like another couple that were in Utah or Colorado around the same time that the Gabby Petito murder happened.
Crystal.
Crystal Turner and Kylie Shuttle, or whatever her name was.
Kylan, yeah.
Yeah, they were like a couple, and they got murdered like around the same time. And I was wondering, like, if those two cases were like if they were tied into each other. You know,
I don't believe so, but I do know that Gabby Petito's family is suing because of how her case was handled. I mean,
right.
That footage from when she was in the truck and that stop happened.
Yeah.
There were so many red flags. I mean, when I watched it, like I could just tell like that this girl is scared. She's scared. That's evident to me. Why they handled things the way they did, I don't know. Whether it really is the law, yeah, I'm not sure. But again, Petito's family is suing, and it looks like they have a good case, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would sue too, because like how did the police? Well, one, they did make the stop, but how do you think it? I'm surprised they didn't just take them both in. You know, that's what I would have done if I was the police. Like, okay, there's a situation that happened, possibly a domestic violence. You know, he said, she said type of thing, and maybe one of them, like, I would have took them both in. You know, overnight at least, like, because I think they went straight home after that.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Gabby Petito's case to me was I don't want to. I don't. I'm gonna lack tact here. That's what's about to happen, and I apologize before I say this, but with Gabby Petito's case, it was a terrible tragedy. This young girl being murdered by her boyfriend, but it was a very basic case to me. It was very like cut and dry, so to speak. It was pretty evident, kind of what happens. He leaves her, brings the van all the way back to Florida without her. I mean, if you need a bigger red flag, somebody needs to wrap you in one in a red room. Yes.
Yeah, like my daughter, like what you do.
Yeah, like giant red flag there. And then so it just seemed like it was really, really obvious. And then he went missing, and then there's another gigantic red flag that it was obvious kind of what happened. So with other cases like Dylan Rounds or Summer Wells or Suzanne Morphew, there's more complexity and things happening that, I'm very glad that Gabby's case has been, that she was found, that Brian is wherever Brian is. I do think that, yeah, because I don't know where that soul is, sir. I am not going to pretend to be an angel right now, okay, or God, because I don't know, but I have my thoughts. But either way, his family, they knew, and you said nothing. You allowed this other family to be in fear and be upset and worried and wondering where their child was. You aided and you abetted. That's what you did.
Yeah, that's illegal too, because like you're literally hiding information that you know. You know.
Yep. That's what I'm saying. So I mean, you cannot do that, even if it's your child. You cannot do that. I mean, it's painful. Listen, if I heard that one of my children did something this terrible, as a parent, I do believe I would fall apart. I'd probably cry for days on end. I know how I am. And then I would figure out what the right thing to do is. Aiding and abetting is not the answer. Okay, we already know, just common sense, that is not the answer. You need to have your child admit to what they did or attempt to do that and be honest. This other family is hurting. They are looking for their child. You know your child is guilty of this. So it just, they did the wrong thing in every way, shape, and form. I don't know how many people say, you know what, if it was my kid, I would do the same thing. I'm not one of them. But I do imagine it's much harder actually being the laundries than talking about the laundries. And I'm very thankful to not be in their shoes at this moment and hopefully ever in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I don't know these people, but I would assume that they definitely didn't raise their kid to be a murderer.
Because like we already know by their actions of like not speaking up or not even helping with the case, like that lets me know what their true colors are. You know, they literally showed their true colors. You know?
Yeah, like I really would love to just pick their minds of what were you thinking?
Yeah.
Like were you were completely focused on Brian and just saving him, or you knew what was happening. You knew that Gabby was missing. You knew the family was publicly pleading. And you know what? Again, I always hats off to them, but just Gabby Petito's family, her mother, her father, her stepmother, and her stepfather, phenomenal people. The way that those four stuck together, um, I I just have to commend them. Uh, as opposed to a family like the Wells family. These ridiculous people doing this ridiculous nonsense, who most likely had something to do with the disappearance of this child. But they obviously didn't, and they stuck together. Blended families are hard.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm in one. But
a lot of people are. Yeah.
We're a loving blended family. Like I love my stepsister. Like she's like my biological sister. Like we do everything together. Like we hang out, we talk. Same with my stepmom. Like I love my stepmom to the death of me. You know. And my stepbrother too. Like we all get along. Like we don't just call each other siblings. We're siblings. You know, because we live in a house. You know, we go through we literally go through the same stuff. You know, the same family stuff. So, yeah, it's tough being in the blended family, but it's all gonna get better like over time. You know, it's step by step. You know.
Yeah. Completely understand.
Yeah, and that's why like I thought like with Brian Laundrie, that's why like I thought he killed that lesbian couple the way he handled the Gabby Petito murder. Like I thought that's why like something was off with the Kylie shuttle.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of speculation about that, but I think it was proven that they were not connected.
Oh, okay.
So, but I do think there was a ton of speculation, and I was even thinking, like, he was really close to, he was there. So,
Yeah.
did he do this to them as well? I mean, obviously, he's capable of murder.
Right.
He admitted that, and when those I posted them on my community tab, but when those his little notes came out that he wrote that they found in the book bag or whatever. Oh my god. Like, I mean, he was like blaming her, like, or like basically saying, like, she wanted this. Are you she wanted you to kill her? That's what she wanted.
Yeah, now
I found that so disgusting.
He probably had a mental problem. Well, not probably, he did. That literally really shows.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure, this very young 20s woman wanted you to murder her. I'm sure that was her life goal. Yep. I mean that's so ridiculous. And I found like dude, even after you know that you're gonna unalive yourself, you still just couldn't help but to blame her. Why? There's so many whys. There's just so many freaking whys with people sometimes.
Yeah,
I
like if you blame that person so much, then just leave the relationship.
right. Well, I do. I agree with you. There was a lot of mental health issues going on with him, I believe.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, he just seemed, well, unhinged, basically.
right.
So I don't know what is Gordon Dillon saying.
Yeah, I just hope this world gets better. You know, like that we don't have to, you know, talk about stuff like this. But I know it's important. You know, because this happens in our own backyards, and it's what we hear on TV and on the radio.
That's
You
why I was
know,
talking about education.
yeah,
Because again, the more educated people are, the less towards violence they feel. They figure out other ways to solve problems other than killing or harming or maiming. But sometimes people are unable to control those emotions. They don't have that intelligence to do so. And they lash out and do those types of things. Um, Gloria Dellon is saying the murdered couple's killer, Crystal and Kylan, committed suicide, I think.
well,
So I didn't hear that, but that's what Gloria Dellon is saying. So maybe that is what happens. Grandma is agreeing. So I didn't go as far into that case as I did Gabby's, I'll be honest.
yeah,
But I think obviously they watched more of that and seems to be the conclusion. So I have no idea though. I'm not even going to speculate on it.
yeah. Me neither.
Um, but back to the topic at hand. You watched all of this stuff happen today, or no?
No, not really. No.
So you weren't watching Jared Leisek or waiting to watch Jared Leisek in court and the YouTubers watching and then live streaming it, which is completely illegal, and the judge coming on and telling everyone like there are YouTubers that are live streaming this. So I am shutting down the entire court for the day.
Wow.
That's what happened. Yeah. I was like watching this entire thing and I tried to make a community post to say to my fellow creators, please remember that you cannot live stream this. I don't know what I said exactly, but basically, like, it's illegal. Please don't like get yourself in trouble.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and
The eye on your ass.
well, it was crazy because the next thing I know, the judge she recessed, right? So I'm thinking, okay, they're like recessing or whatever. I didn't think this was going to be what it was, but then she comes back and is like, there's YouTubers that are live streaming like this, basically said that there was no respect being shown to the court and that the court was stopping for the entire day. And so the victims of Jared Leisek today were directly affected by the YouTube true crime community. And if that is not noticed, I'm not saying go beat up on people, because I do believe that there were certain creators that really didn't know that they couldn't do this. Just like how bad of a thing it actually is. So I don't think Shannon was in here earlier and she said it perfectly that, this was a learning day for a lot of people. And I do believe that.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Well, she said herself that she didn't even know that she was glad she wasn't live streaming because she didn't know.
Right.
So, but just Gloria Dillon. Jay is for Justice said she had written permission. I don't know if that's true. Oh wow. Oh, did she? Okay. I wasn't even aware, Glory, that she was live streaming that. So I knew that there were others, but I don't know everyone that was live streaming that. So maybe she did have what written permission. She's definitely not new to the true crime community. So I assume she's going to produce that. So to put that to bed. Grandma, I would honestly like a few minutes alone with Quentin Simon's mother, Leilani. You are going to have to ask the judge for that, ma'am. I don't know what they're going to say. Lord, huh?
I said I think they're probably gonna say no, but
They're probably going to say no. But if you want to leap across the table, we will cheer you on. And we will also bail you out, just so you know. Gloria, but no, okay. Let me be honest here. Okay, where I am not promoting violence. I am definitely joking. Do not mean that seriously. Please don't attack anyone, please. All right. So you have to say this kind of thing. Not that I think Grandma would do that. I understand that she's joking, but sometimes people just, you know. So Gloria Dillon, as I see it, the only way to prevent it is to have an in-person hearing. Any in-person hearing, I'll make the trip down for, weather permitting. Yeah, with Jared Leisek, you mean Gloria Dillon?
now there's something that I wanted to talk to you about, but
Sure.
if we have this discussion off air,
Sure.
but like I don't know if this is like your cell number or something, but I can give you my information once we're done. Because I like I said earlier, there's something about like my YouTube channel, like where people have said it was like it violates people's rights or something like that. So I kind of wanted to talk to you about that.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
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 You go ahead and text the number on the screen is actually my number. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Oh,
you
this
gotta
is-
text me.
oh, okay.
Yeah. So Tina Brown is saying, so it's open to the public but illegal to live stream. Yes. Yes, because again, you have to imagine that it's still a court proceeding, even though it is on a live stream. It's still respected as if you are in person. In person, you cannot walk into a court and start live streaming or taking pictures or putting them on social platforms, or nobody can do that. The press that is allowed, they have to have permission. A lot of the times, the courts only allow so many. And again, they have to have permission. If Jay for Justice is saying that she had written permission, maybe she does. I'm not going to say she doesn't. Again, she's been around the block here. She's not new to this. I would assume that she definitely knows how to go about that. But we'll see. So yes, but the simple answer to your question, Tina, is yes. Allie, pretty sure Jay is for Justice already got sued or threatened to be by FWFLA for streaming their laundry search content as her own. Wow. Okay. I mean, I stream news things all the time, but I'll have myself on there. I don't know. You could speed up the volume. You can talk during it. You could stop it. It's fair use, but yeah. Maybe she was. I'm not sure. I don't even know how many subscribers she has. I think she's up there a little bit. Gloria Dillon. Utah has very strict rules regarding streaming or recording the hearing. Even Marcos Ortiz only did a screenshot, and I think that only because he was a credentialed media person. Yes, exactly. That's why, again, with Brenner, this Gloria Dellon is here, and she has paralegal experience. She is a person that I was like, hey, I'm gonna live stream this. She was like, no, that is illegal, and I was like, oh, Okay, no, okay. So, but I still got to lay my own eyes upon him, and the best I could do was just to talk to people about what I saw, my perspective, because you cannot do that. And when I seen Justice for All doing that today, and again, I'm not trying to don't go over to his channel and attack him or do anything crazy, but I just saw him, and I just try to say to him like, hey man, you can't do this. It's literally illegal, and it's just so crazy. I think I don't know if it was within an hour, 45 minutes. It's somewhere in there where court went to recess, and all of a sudden the judge comes back and it's done. And I was just like, wow, this is crazy to watch. Duty Ron, it doesn't realize that his mic is unmuted. He's talking to his subscribers. Hey everybody, just subscribe to me. Like, this is Duty Ron. I was like, oh my God, what's happening? It was really crazy. Yeah.
So I have a question. So what would your advice be for re-uploading videos that are already like have been uploaded?
Mm.
So like if I upload a video that was off of somebody else's channel, like what would your advice be? Like would that go under like terminating rights or
Okay. Uploading someone else's video onto your channel, why would you do that? What do you mean?
like is that considered like because I get these links where people like send me. Maybe I should not click on them to begin with because maybe that could be like oh here's like if you click on a let's say if you click on an ad, right, and it's like a spam because like these videos that I have, like they're usually like music videos from like other artists. Like is that considered like copyright? Like could I get in trouble for copyrighted or
For clicking on a link that someone sent you to watch a video?
for the upload.
Is it the artist that is asking you to upload them?
No, it's like somebody else, like one of my buddies is like sending me
Yeah,
like
if you don't have that artist's permission to do that, I would not do that.
okay.
Or maybe you want to ask that artist, would it be okay if I uploaded your video and maybe, transcribe the words? So it would be a lyric video. Yeah, you always want to ask permission. You can pretty much count on if you play anything. Like if I just said, "Hey, whatever," I'm not going to say the word because it'll come on right now. Play such and such, and it plays any type of music that is copyrighted, which is most mainstream music. Blah blah blah. I already know that this video will not be monetized. It will be copyright struck because I'm playing things without the permission of the artist.
Wow.
So yeah, you definitely just wanna get the permission of the artist.
Okay.
Yeah, I would.
What if I created a crime? But oh man.
Or like, okay, so like maybe if you really like the artist a lot and you want to upload them because you like them, if you could credit their channel if they have a channel, and how to get there, pin that comment, put it in the description of how people can get to that actual artist, tag them if whatever. Just to make it really clear that this is their music. Maybe say something about it. Like I really feel the this or that in this song. Or why are you laughing?
Look, I was like saying I don't want to get sued by like Justin Timberlake or something like that.
No, I mean, but yeah, I mean, like people post things, but I mean, you just gotta. You don't have to, but you should. I mean, you should post things that you like. So if you like something, say why or whatever, but don't try to like profit off it. I guess, like I mean, it's just like here's this because I really like it or whatever. So I don't know. We're like jabbering on now. Way off topic. We've been off topic forever.
Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry
It's
about
not your fault. It's not your fault.
Yeah, I wanted to ask that question because I went through your channel and it seems like your channel is like pretty spot on. Like I want my channel to have like a platform, you know.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk to you about that a little bit later, but I did send a text to this number.
I really don't know what my advice would be. Try to stay away from drama as much as possible. Be yourself. There's always gonna be people that don't like you. But just try to be real. I guess that would be my advice.
You got a text, right? That came from a 609 number.
Oh, did you text me?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know.
Let me see. Okay, yeah, I see it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's just kind of my advice because I like I said before, like I never really had anyone help me with my YouTube channel. So I'm still kind of just like winging it, just being myself. It's kind of like all I know to do. um, I don't know. I don't know that I have a lot more advice than that, or I mean, I guess there's simple things that I could help you with, or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I'm over here reading Allie. What Allie, what is this? Allie's saying according to Netflix lawsuit without authorization. What is this? Defendants overlaid a watermark or bug onto infringing works, which branded infringing works as J is for Justice, Tampa Free Press, 3/28/22. What? Oh.
What does that mean?
Oh, that was for. Oh, okay. When J is for Justice. Okay. She's just when that all happens. Yeah. WFLA parent company files suit against alleged bootlegging. Local podcast company was title of article. Yeah, that's true. Yes, that happens. Those are receipts. Allie's just bringing the receipts. That's all she's doing. Danny, media does transcripts, not live streams, certainly not influencers. Yeah, I mean, people just gotta stay in their lane. Stay in your lane.
Are
Like,
you here? Oh, sorry. Like when you said like stay in your lane.
yeah.
Sometimes I watch like other like YouTubers there's this YouTuber that I follow and all he posts is or he or she posts the General Hospital like the sitcom
What?
like you know General Hospital, right?
I
Like,
mean, I've heard of it, but
so there's these two characters on the show. One is called Christina, and the other is called Parker. So their whole characters are pretty much like tied into this mob like type of crime. Like it's very weird. Like
why are we talking about General Hospital? Go ahead. No, I'm in. I am into Christina Parker now. Please continue. Just go.
Yeah, so so Christina, she's in like this cult, and and for some reason, she's interacting with this guy. His name is like Shiloh. Shiloh is like the cult leader, and she ends up murdering him. Doesn't get in trouble because I guess her dad, Christina's dad, is like in the mob or something like that. This happened like couple years ago. But I guess they killed off the scene or because I guess it was looking bad for like the show, but it was like something that was like very high. It had like high action in it. Like when I mean like high action, there was like a lot of like crime type of stuff, like who killed who and who murdered this person and
Well, how is this relevant to what we were talking about?
Oh no, I don't know. I was just looking at something in the commercial.
Okay.
Made me think of it.
I was like all in General Hospital, and then I was like, wait, why? Where? How did we get here? Like, where? When did that? Like, is this relevant to something else? I'm lost now. But
No. I saw a commercial for General Hospital. That was I wanted
you
to
just
say
got
about-
sidetracked.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I mean, it happens. It happens to me. I lose my train of thought all the time. I'll be like in the middle of saying something and I'm like, shit. I kind of forgot what I was saying. Sorry. I think that's like people that are like just thinkers, or just like think so much. And we'll go to say something and we'll be on to like the next thought, like the next 2 or 3 thoughts ahead, but our mouth hasn't got there yet. Have you ever done that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that. So I'm like, and I hate it, man. I hate it when I'm like, damn it, I forgot what I was going to say. I'll think of it. I usually do, but not always. And that shit pisses me off. But anyway, so I just hope, I think we're going to wrap this up. I mean, we're at almost like 3.5 hours, so long, but I have been doing really long live streams lately. I don't know why. Like, I guess like my month and a half off or something like that. Just I have a lot of crap to say. But I really just hope that the creators that live stream this, please take it down. I don't want to see you guys get yourselves in trouble and be in a bunch of stuff. If you didn't know, you didn't know. I don't know how ever the court system deals with things like this. I really don't know that. Probably gonna look it up. Not gonna lie. I just want to see like what happens, if anything. But yeah, just take that down. You don't want that. Not good. So, but again, I just I don't know if people need to beat up on people. I think this was just like a giant learning curve for just like a ton of people today. So I don't know, but I haven't watched any other live streams. Like, is anybody else like live about this or talking about this or whatever?
Not that I know of.
Really? Wow. Oh, just me. Okay. Well, there you go. Anyway, all right. I think I'm gonna wrap this up. Thank you so much for calling in.
Yeah.
You're
no
like the
problem.
chillest, like coolest person. Like, please call back in, like whenever you want.
Yeah. And if you have time to talk, like I said about my channel, I can definitely uh, call this number. I don't know if this is your personal cell but we can definitely discuss it off air, whenever the time being.
Yeah, I'll probably learn more from you.
Yeah.
You said yeah.
Right. If like after this live stream ends, if that helps.
Yeah. Yeah, that would
Okay.
be cool. Okay. Yeah, I'm about to end it now. So I'll talk to you in a little bit.
All right. Do you want me to call this number? Or?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right, bye. All right, guys. So I'm just going to wrap this up. Like I was saying, thank you guys all for being in here and talking. Glory, or Allie, I'm sorry. Thank you. Defendant released, among other stories, numerous episodes covering biological to murder alleged podcast. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, what we were talking about. All right. So I will talk to you guys later. I will see you all later. Bye, guys. Bye, Allie. I heart you. Bye, Grandma. Bye, Tamara. Bye, Christ Wrath. Thank you so much for coming in. Bye, everybody else that was here. See you guys later. It's a long goodbye. Ma. Bye.